A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Suspense. Tonight, Autolite and its 96,000 dealers present Mr. Ray Milland in Chicken Feed, a suspense play produced and edited by William Spears.
Hey, Hap, what happened?
Get me a doctor. Rush so fast getting here, run my battery dry.
Why, you don't need a doctor. You need an Autolite Stay Full battery. Why, these brilliant, beautiful, bouncy babies want water only 3 times a year. Yes, only 3 times a year in normal car use. Their larger liquid load is like a lake compared to ordinary batteries. And Autolite Stay Full batteries have extra protection with fiberglass retaining mats for longer life. Why, in tests conducted according to life cycle standards of the Society of Automotive Engineers, Autolite Stay Full batteries gave 70% longer average life than batteries without the Stay Full features. So, folks, get an Autolite Stay Full battery. Remember, you're always right with Autolite. Oh, and friends, a reminder, Suspense may be seen on television in many parts of the country every Tuesday night.
And now with Chicken Feed, and with the performance of Ray Milland, Autolite hopes once again to keep you in suspense.
All right, it was a silly thing to fight over, I admit it, but there it was. A nickel. A measly, worthless nickel. Chicken feed. But, of course, that was only the beginning. Junior had asked for a nickel, and I flipped it over to him. After he left the room, Mary said I shouldn't spoil the kid. It was time he learned the value of money. And I said, great Scott, if I couldn't give my own child a nickel without her jumping down my throat, I said, after all, what's a nickel good for? Cup of coffee? Or, you know how these things get going. You keep saying things you shouldn't, and she lashes out with an answer, and before you know it, you've stormed out of the house, and you're taking it out on the car. 50 miles cooled me down a little, but not much. I automatically slowed up when I came to the sign, "You are now entering Lansing, California. Go slow and see our town, go fast and see our jail." Everybody knew Lansing. Speed trap, uptown. Driving at a normal speed through the quiet Sunday street gave me time to think of something besides the fighting words Mary and I had slugged at each other. I pulled up at a little cafe next to the police station. Had a whitewash sign in the window, best cup of coffee in town for 5 cents.
And I resent that, Officer Brady. Do over easy, Sam, and heavy on the fried. What's yours, mister?
Coffee, please.
Coming up. Here you are. Say, Officer Brady, how's your star order?
Phillips? They're coming for him in the morning.
Think you'll be able to hold him until then? He got out of that Bennington jail like a paper bag.
But don't worry, sister. Mr. Phillips won't get out of this one.
Well, I listened to him for half an ear while I sipped my coffee. Best cup in town for 5 cents. That reminded me of our argument over a nickel. That's about all a nickel's good for. A cup of coffee some places, a newspaper, a phone call. There was a stack of the local papers nearby, and I pulled one over to look at. This Phillips is on the front page. Bank robber. Killed a teller. He had a face I wouldn't want to run into. Close. After a while, the hot coffee made me feel a little better, and maybe I'd been at fault as much as Mary. She wasn't the only one who had a bad temper. On a sudden impulse, I left my coffee, went over to the phone on the far wall. I heard the dial tone, and then I fished in my pocket for change. It was empty. Say, miss, could you change $1 for me? I want to use the phone.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well,
What's the matter, mister?
Well, my wallet, I seem to have... Look, I'll be back in a minute. No, Mary wasn't the only one with a temper. I'd stormed out of the house without changing the contents of my pockets to clean the silk. Didn't have a dime on me, not a nickel. I rummaged in the glove compartment. Mary sometimes left a coin first, but this time, naturally, it wasn't there. I felt like a fool.
What seems to be the trouble, mister?
Oh, hello, officer. Well, I seem to have come out without any money. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassing.
I didn't realize it. I tried to phone, but I...
Oh, wait a minute, just a minute.
Huh?
Where's your driver's license?
Oh, it's in my wallet. San Francisco.
Got any other identification?
Well, the registration slip on the car.
Oh, yeah, that's the car. What about you?
Look, officer, I'm Ralph Clark. Clark and Jacobs in the Hatfield building. We're attorneys.
Attorneys.
Well, I should have a card somewhere.
Kind of far from home to be without any dough, ain't you?
Well, I came out of the house without changing the stuff into this suit. You know how it
Yeah.
is.
How do you happen to have the keys to the car?
Well, I don't take them out, and it's in the garage.
Yeah.
Say, you don't think...
Where you
that,
headed for?
Well, I know it sounds funny, but nowhere, really. You see, I had a fight with my wife, and I just batted out of the house to cool off.
I tell you what, Mr. Clark, suppose we just mosey over to the station house.
The station house? Say, what is this?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. It's right next door, and you can call your wife from there.
But I don't see why that's necessary. If you just lend me a nickel, I could call here and reverse the charges.
Well, we'll go. You can leave the car here. I'll take that key.
Now, look here, officer. I don't
Come on,
get
move
this.
on, move on.
All the stupid situations today.
Hi, Jim. What you got this time?
I'll tell you better after he makes his call. Give me the phone, will you, Ross?
That's out of order. Went dead half-hour ago.
Yeah?
I reported it. They said they can't have a man here before tomorrow.
Well, did you tell him this is a police station, for Pete's sake?
Oh, sure I told them. It ain't bad, though. We get incoming calls, and we still got the nickel snatcher over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a pay phone, Mr. Clark. You can make your call from there.
I don't have any money, remember?
Oh, yeah, okay. There's a nickel.
Gee, thanks.
Let me speak to your wife when you get her.
This is going to sound fine, just fine. She'll think I really tied one on.
Operator.
I want to call San Francisco, Fillmore 60098, and reverse the charges, please.
Thank you. Your number, please.
This is 460.
Hello? I have a collect call from Lansing, California for Fillmore 60098. Will you accept it? Lansing? Well, I don't know anyone in
It's me,
Lansing.
Mary. Take the call.
Oh, it's you, is it? What do you think you're doing, 50 miles? Will you accept the call, madam? I should say not. The very idea.
Hey, Mary, wait!
I'm sorry. The party will not accept the call.
Look, operator, get her back, will you? This is important.
I will ring them again.
Well, that's a sweetheart. She's there, the little... Why doesn't she pick up that phone?
Your party does not answer.
No.
No soap, huh?
Well, that's your nickel.
Let me have another one, will you? I'll get hold of my partner. He'll identify me.
Look, we've wasted enough time. Come on in here.
But those are the cells.
Right.
You're locking me up?
Right again.
But what's the big idea? I didn't do anything. What are you charging me with?
I don't have to charge you with anything. I'm holding you on suspicion.
Suspicion? Suspicion of what?
Defrauding the cafe, for one thing. And I want to check that car.
You think I stole it?
Well, it's been done.
Now, wait a minute. If you just let me phone...
You're entitled to one call. You've had it.
But look here, officer.
Come on, inside.
In jail. All on account of a measly nickel. A lousy, stinking nickel.
Hey, welcome to our jail. Stink pot of the Santa Nueva Valley. Huh, Slim?
Yeah, you said it. What's your beef, chum?
Suspicion. Can you feature that suspicion? They won't even give me a nickel to phone.
You mean you ain't even got a nickel?
No, you see,
Yeah, that's too bad, ain't it, Pete?
Oh, yeah, sure is. I wish we could help you out.
Yeah. Maybe we can at that.
You got a nickel?
Sure. I got 3 of them.
Well, lend me one, will you? Just one. I'll pay you back. I'll send you $10 as soon as I get out of here.
What's it worth to you, chum?
What? I
Yeah.
just told you, $10.
Yeah, I know. Pie in the sky.
Hey, my wristwatch. Why didn't I think of that before?
What's the matter with it?
Oh, nothing. Nothing's the matter with it. It's worth $50. Yeah, you fool. Look at it. It's yours for 5 cents for one measly nickel. What can you lose?
Must be something wrong with it. Is it hot?
Hot? You mean stolen? Of
Yeah.
course not.
What are you offering for a nickel for?
Because I want to get out of this filthy place.
Oh. So you don't like our company, is that it?
Well, if you want to put it that way, no, I don't.
Oh, the man don't like our company.
Now, ain't that just too bad? Hey, what do you think of that, Mr. Phillips? He don't like it. You got any nickels, Mr. Phillips?
I followed his glance. For the first time, I saw, deep in the gloom of the locked cubicle, the face I'd seen on the front page of the newspaper. The face I'd said I wouldn't want to run into, close. Well, it was close, and I was glad there were bars between us.
Of course, us guys ain't much, but Mr. Phillips here, he's a big shot. Robbed 4 banks and broke into 2 jails. He killed a man, too.
Yeah, sure. We're just vags. But Mr. Phillips, he's going to the hot seat. Yeah, they're coming to get him, take him back to Utah and burn him.
They don't burn him in Utah, they shoot him.
Oh.
Ain't that right, Mr. Phillips? Hey, Mr. Phillips don't want to talk about it.
yeah, Mr. Phillips, he don't want to talk about nothing. Mr. Phillips, he ain't very sociable. Just like this.
Oh, now, look, fellas, I didn't mean... I just meant I want to get out of this jail. Here, take the watch and give me the nickel, huh?
Tell you what I'll do. I'll match you for it.
Match me?
Yeah, nickel against the watch.
Well...
Take it or leave it.
Well, all right.
Leave Pete hold the watch here, huh? I'll flip a nickel on the floor and you call it, huh?
Heads.
Tails, I win.
Hey, wait a minute. Get your foot over it. How do you know it's tails?
It's tails. Ain't it, Pete?
Sure, it's tails, all right. Here's the watch, Slim.
Say, what is
Watch
this?
it, brother.
You're not going to get away with this.
Get him, Pete. That'll learn you.
This is for me and me.
Oh, don't kick me.
Hey, what's going on in there?
Officer, these
It
men...
ain't nothing, officer. This new guy is acting up, that's all.
Well, quiet down in there.
Now, get up.
I can't. He kicked me.
Trying to get us in trouble, huh?
No, I... Look, fella, for heaven's sake...
Shut up. Okay. Kangaroo.
I'll be the judge and you'll be the prosecutor, huh?
Right. Maybe Mr. Phillips will be defense attorney. You want to, Mr. Phillips?
He don't want to.
Prisoner at the bar, stand up. I said stand up.
Cut it out, will you?
Shut up.
All right, Counselor. What is the prisoner charged with?
Your Honor, this man's a desperate criminal. He's charged with breaking into jail, insulting his fellow boarders, poor sportsmanship, and fighting. A very dangerous character, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah. Guilty on all counts. Prisoner, have you anything to say before I pronounce sentence? No? Well, I fine you 5 cents. Hand it over.
You know I haven't got it.
Can't pay, huh? Well, then you can work it out. Rate of 1 cent a day. Your first job will be to shine the court's shoes.
Shine your own shoes.
Oh, he's going to be like that, huh? Hold them, Slim. Yeah.
Officer!
Hey, down in there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now get on them shoes.
I don't have anything to shine them with.
You got a coat, ain't you? Now get going.
The next hours were unadulterated agony. It was unbelievable, the filthy, inhuman things they could think up for me to do. It was just frightful. With every move I made, I could feel the glittering, steely eyes of the silent man in the locked cage on me, following me, weighing me. And finally, when they couldn't think of anything more, they forced me to stand at attention, looking right into Phillips's cage. They couldn't see his face. It was too close to mine. But he winked at me, and he nodded his head as though it were a signal. And then his 2 huge arms came through the bars and thrust me reeling across the cell, and I fell and hit my head. And that's all I remember.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Ray Milland in Chicken Feed. Tonight's production in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hey, Hap, get a load of this picture.
What the? A herd of camels picketing the Autolite battery plant.
Yeah, look at the signs. Autolite Stay Full batteries, unfair to camels.
Now, how do you figure that?
Oh, it's easy. Those thirstless Autolite Stay Full batteries have kicked Camel's water reserve reputation into a cocked hat.
You mean because an Autolite Stay Full needs water only 3 times a year?
Yea, and verily, and also correct. Autolite Stay Full batteries need water only 3 times a year in normal car use. This extra liquid reserve expels one of the major causes of battery failure, means exceedingly excellent performance and extremely long life.
You'd say it's expedient to own an Autolite Stay Full battery.
Exactly. And for a few more Autolite Stay Full extras, get this. Extra protection with fiberglass retaining mats. Extra long life as compared to batteries without Stay Full features. In fact, 70% longer average life as established by tests conducted according to life cycle standards of the Society of Automotive Engineers. Why, with an Autolite Stay Full battery, you can tell the difference in your car.
You're right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Ray Milland in Chicken Feed, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I don't know what time it was. 2 or 3 in the morning, I guess, when I felt a stealthy touch on my shoulder. I opened my eyes. I was still on the stone floor. And Phillips was bending over me, holding a revolver. My mouth opened for an involuntary cry, and he clapped a hand over it.
Shut up, you fool. You want to wake them punks? Get up quick and be quiet about it.
I glanced quickly at Phillips's cell. It was open. So was the door to the corridor. He pushed me on and locked the door behind us. In his office, bound and gagged securely to his desk chair, Sergeant Ross glared at us. The empty holster at his side told where Phillips had got his gun.
Here. Which is the key to your car?
This one.
Okay. Take it. Let's move. Where's the car?
Over there.
You drive. Yeah. Well, we made it. Them hick bulls, they panicked me. Guy could spring that crock with a hairpin. But you nearly done a fine job of lousing things up. What happened to you, getting thrown in the can in the middle of the day?
Well, they picked me up on suspicion.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be till midnight tonight. And all that phony kid stuff about the nickel.
The nickel?
Yeah, all that double talk when all you had to do was slip me the word that Jerry Nichols sent you. Served you right the way them lushes treated you. Acting like a dyed-in-the-wool squid.
Jerry Nichols? Nichols! My numbed brain slowly put the meaning of his words into shape. He thought I was an accomplice, sent by a partner to help him break jail. Then all my screams about a nickel had been nothing but a signal to him. A signal that I came from Jerry Nichols.
Jerry got the hideout set up?
Yes.
Oh, where is it?
The hideout?
The hideout. We're going to Jerry's place first, ain't we? Then what?
Well, I'll take you to Jerry's. Then I guess you'll take over from there.
How far is it to Jerry's? Can't be any more than about 5 miles, is it?
Well, it's... Look behind you.
What's the matter?
There's a car following us without lights.
Well, I don't see it. Hey, what's the big idea? You trying to cross me?
I couldn't help it. My foot slammed on the brake. That car, we've got to get out of here.
Go ahead. Get it started. Come on.
It's flooded.
I'm getting out till that car passes. You make for the other side, no tricks. Just to make sure, I'll take this key.
I'd made myself a chance, and I took it. I slipped out of the car on the other side and ran across the fields until I could run no more. After an interminable 2 miles, I found a road, and after a while of tramping along the road, a dark shape loomed up before me, a gas station. And through the glass, I could make out the outline of a telephone. I tried the door. It was locked, of course, but I found a tire iron and sprang the latch. I'd run to the phone, almost thrown myself on it, before I saw it was a payphone. In a rage, I shook the black box. I could hear the nickels inside across a sheet of metal no thicker than a playing card, yet as inaccessible as the moon. But there must be some money in this room. My eyes focused on a battered desk. There was some change in it, and a couple of dollar bills. The kind of money a man will leave as a sop to possible burglars. Burglars? That meant me. Carefully, I abstracted a single nickel.
Number, please.
Get me San Francisco. Sutter, 15994. It's Morris Jacobs. Tell him that this is his partner, Ralph Clark, and ask him to accept the charges.
Thank you. There's an interruption on the line, and there may be a slight delay, sir. Will you hold on, or shall I call you?
I'll hold on, but hurry, operator. It's important.
One moment, please.
As I waited, a glint of light pulled my eyes away from the phone. Far down the road, headlights of a car joggled over the rise and aimed towards me. It was the first car to come by since I'd hit the road. It might be a stray, a farmer starting out before sunup, but I couldn't take the chance. Hastily, I hung up the receiver, closed the cash drawer, snapped the lock on the door, then I crouched beneath the desk.
Open up! Hey! I've tried to wake that geezer before. He sleeps like a dead man. He may be back on the bottle again.
We'll get him up.
Hey, Jerry! Jerry!
To my horror, I heard the creak of bed springs from the rear of the station. A light appeared under the door I thought was just a rear door to the outside. It opened, and two hairy, barefoot legs under a flannel nightgown came through and made for the front.
Who is it?
Freddie and Ross, open up.
Well, you're a fine bunch of cops running out of gas in the middle of the night. Come on in. It's chilly with the door open.
That ain't gas, pal. Phillips broke jail.
What? Oh, you don't tell me. Well, how did he do that?
You see, there was two of them. He had an accomplice. Said he was a lawyer.
We found their car abandoned on the road back at Ferris's hopping field. Ran out of gas, so they can't be far away.
Say, there was a big reward for Phillips after he broke jail at Bennington, wasn't there?
Yeah, $1,000.
Hey! You know him, don't you? Yeah. You was in the Bennington folk when he done that break. What was it? A drunk and disorderly or something.
Yeah, I had me a little too much and broke a wind in the general store. We was roommates for the night. I was pretty scared.
How'd he do it, the break?
Oh, I don't know. I was sleeping it off. $1,000 reward, huh? Man could do it a lot with $1,000.
Not that he couldn't. Don't you get any ideas now? That Phillips is a killer, and so's his partner, most likely.
Well, I ain't exactly helpless myself. Got a nice little fella on my side.
Now, you take my advice, chum, and put that gun away. They show up here, you talk soft, let us do the capture.
Oh, sure. I'll play safe.
Well, we'll be going. Just wanted to alert you, Jerry.
Yes, thanks. Thanks. So long, boy. All right, you. Come out from under that desk. Come on out, I say. This gun's mighty nervous. Now, get your hands up and stand over there.
Look, mister.
I'll do the talking. Who are you?
Look, you've got to believe me. I'm not a criminal. I'm a lawyer.
Oh, you must be the other one, huh? Keep them hands up.
But I got into this by accident. I don't know. He helped me escape.
Where
yes,
is Phillips?
Well, I left him in the car, and that's another thing. You can get the reward. I know who he's going to meet, and they're going to a hideout, and...
Oh, I see. Who is he going to meet?
Well, somebody named Jerry Nichols. There you are. If you let me get to that phone, I can clear everything
No,
up.
you don't. Stay right where you are. I'll plug you.
But that's my partner, my law partner in San Francisco. I only broke in here so I could phone him. He'll identify me. You don't believe me?
Oh, I believe you all right.
Then what? Answer it yourself. You'll see.
Not on your life, mister. You think I'm out of my mind?
But you've got to answer it, Jerry. You don't know what I went through to place that call. You just can't stand there and... Jerry. You're Jerry Nichols.
That's right. So you see...
Jerry!
Turn off that light, you.
It's Phillips.
Stand over there by the window where he can see you. Go on.
Jerry!
Come on in, Phillips.
I ran out of gas in that punk.
Jerry, what?
It happened so fast that for a moment I had no reaction at all. None. I just watched it. Watched Phillips holding his chest with both hands. Watched that giant body twist convulsively on the floor and then lie still. Watched Jerry bend over him, then straighten up. Then as he turned, grinning to me, emotion, feeling came back, and what I felt was seething, overpowering rage, fury, everything I'd been through this night. It was like a boiler that had to burst.
Well, dead or alive, I just made me $1,000.
You foul, stinking scum.
What?
You're worse than he is.
Shut up. Maybe I'll get a reward for you, too. A small one.
I could feel the bullet land in my side, just below the belt, and the avenues of pain spread out like the cracks in a hammered window glass. But somehow, strangely, it didn't stop me. I kept moving toward him. He backed away, surprised. He was aiming for another shot when we grabbed him. I got the gun, and he got me by the throat. He stumbled. I held onto his hand that was holding the gun. I wouldn't let go, and then as he fell backwards over the chair, I was on top of him. He wouldn't let go of that gun. As we thrashed around there on the floor, I brought his hand up suddenly and smashed his own gun into his face. Then he lay still. I listened. I listened to his heart. He was all right. He was all right. I got up gasping for breath. And then I realized that I was all right. Yet he'd shot me. Hit me. I should be lying there on the plank floor instead of that grotesque heap in the shapeless flannel nightgown. I felt my side where the bullet had struck. Brought my hand away. There was no blood on it. Yet there should be blood. I touched the spot again. I fingered the contour of something small and hard and round. I pulled it out of my watch pocket. Battered with a slug that struck it, bent almost double. A nickel. A nickel. The 20th part of $1. All a man needed to buy a cup of coffee. To make a phone call, to buy a fine in a kangaroo court, to save his life. And I'd had it all the time. I'd had it all the time. I'd had it all the time. Huh? Huh? Oh. 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 Hello.
I have your party now in San Francisco. Shall I connect you, sir?
Huh? Yeah. But first, get the Lansing police station, will you, operator?
Lansing police.
Yeah. Shut up, Jerry. You're going to live. And I'm going to be in court with you. Yeah. But I wouldn't give a plugged nickel for your chances.
Suspense, presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Ray Milland in Chicken Feed.
Say, Mr. Milland, in a recent movie, I saw you as a baseball pitcher.
Yes, that's right.
You as a pitcher and Paul Douglas as a catcher made a wonderful battery.
That sounds like a lead-in for me to say that Autolite makes a wonderful battery, too.
You can say that again.
All right, I will. Autolite makes a wonderful battery.
Right you are, Ray. It's the Autolite Stay Full that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Made by Autolite, makers of over 400 products for cars, trucks, airplanes, and boats in 28 Autolite plants from coast to coast. Autolite also makes complete electrical systems for many makes of America's finest cars. Batteries, spark plugs, generators, starting motors, coils, distributors. All engineered to fit together perfectly, work together perfectly, because they're a perfect team. So, folks, don't accept electrical parts that are supposed to be as good. Ask for and insist on Autolite original factory parts at your neighborhood service station, car dealer, garage, or repair shop. Remember, you're always right with Autolite. Next Thursday, for Suspense, Dorothy McGuire will be our star. The play is called Last Confession. And it is, as we say,
a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Tonight's Suspense play was produced and edited by William Spear and directed by Norman MacDonald. Music for Suspense is composed by Lucian Moraweck and conducted by Lud Gluskin. Chicken Feed was a radio play by Lawrence Goldman. Ray Milland appeared through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, whose current release is Top of the Morning, starring Bing Crosby, Ann Blythe, and Barry Fitzgerald. Don't forget, next Thursday, same time, Autolite will present Suspense, starring Dorothy McGuire.
Ironized Yeast presents
Lights Out, everybody.
It is later than you think. Lights Out brings you stories of the supernatural and the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasies and the mysteries of the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginative plays, we urge you calmly but sincerely to turn off your radio now.
This is Arch Oboler. He walks the earth, the little man. You look at him and say, what can he do? But then comes war and barbarism threatens his own home, and suddenly the little man towers over the earth, a figure of vengeance. This, too, tonight is a story of vengeance. But before we begin, Bob Stevenson wants to ask you a question.
Does day's end find you so worn out and all in that you can't enjoy the evening? Are you so jittery and underweight and under par that you're losing out in your work and in your fun? Well, maybe you simply need more vitamin B and iron than you're getting from your food. And if so, try ironized yeast tablets. These amazing little tablets are a two-way tonic. They give you both vitamin B and iron. They've been of truly remarkable help to thousands who simply needed more of these substances. Help these weak, weary folks gain glorious new pep and strength. And 5, 10, even more pounds of good new flesh, often in just a few weeks. Remember the name, ironized yeast tablets. And now,
lights out, everybody.
You've got 10 minutes with him, Counselor.
I know. Well, Rogan, I understand you wanted to see me.
Sit down, Counselor.
Well, I'm very busy, you understand?
Sit down.
Yes. What's on your mind? There's always a chance, you know. The jury's been out 3 hours.
The devil with the jury. Get me a knife.
Huh?
Get me a knife.
A knife? Are you insane?
A knife. Get me one.
But why? You've got a chance. My final summation, the jury might deadlock. Yes, deadlock.
Shut up and listen to me.
Well?
When the jury comes in, he'll be there sure.
He?
Mark Street.
Oh, him.
You still don't believe.
Oh, but I do. I definitely believe that an individual by that name does exist.
Exist? He killed my wife.
But the evidence...
He killed my wife, you hear me? He killed my wife.
Yes, I know.
No, you listen to me. You listen or I'll make you listen. For days you've been out there in that courtroom talking words. Words, high-sounding legal words. All the time you ain't believed a word I told you. All the time back of that mug of yours you've been thinking, yeah, he killed her. I killed her. Swellest thing that ever came into a man's life.
Now, Mac, I want you to
Let
know...
me get it out of me. Marie was my wife. She was helping me and loving me. Guy come along who couldn't stand her being happy. He took a look at Marie, and in that rat mind, he must have said to himself, okay, beautiful, I'm going to get you. How and when, I don't know, but someday, beautiful, someday. That's what he said. And that's what he did.
What?
One night he came over. Sure, he got to be my friend. He came over, and when Marie told him I was working late down at the plant, he said he'd wait for me. Business. Business of hell.
What?
Oh, how can I tell you? I can only think it in my head and remember it in my head. I hear against you. Fighting against him. Fighting.
I don't hear anything.
Fighting. She must have clawed at his eyes. And that knife in his hand. He stabbed her once. And again, and the third time. When I got home, she had strength to whisper just 2 words to his name. And then she was dead. And he killed her. He'd frame me so I'd take the rat, me that loved her, Mark Street. He did it. You hear me, Mark Street?
But no trace of the man...
He'll come back, I tell you. He'll come back now to hear that jury speak its piece. He'll come back, I know he will. That'll be my chance to get him. Get me that knife.
But, Mac...
A knife, I got to have it. He'll be there. I can give it to him once, twice, 3 times the way he did to her in his face and his neck and his dirty heart. Dead the way she's dead, his blood wiping out what he did to her. A knife. Get me a knife.
Order in the courtroom. The bailiff will clear the courtroom unless order is immediately restored.
You've got it.
Now, Mac, everything's going to be all right.
The knife. Where is it?
You certainly didn't think I'd really... Well, I mean a man in my position.
You didn't bring it?
Be sensible, Mac. How could I? Your wild story about revenge against a man nobody knows...
Double-crossing.
Mac, jury's coming in.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached the verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
You will read the verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant is charged in the indictment guilty of murder in the first degree.
Prisoner will rise and face the court.
He's talking to you, Mac.
What?
The prisoner will rise.
Judge, get up, Rogan.
Mark Street. You're here. I know it.
Mac Rogan, have you anything to say before sentence is passed upon you?
I see him.
Rogan, what's the matter?
Mark Street, he's here. Here. Mark Street, you're here. I see you. I'll get you now.
Get him, somebody.
Oh, he's here. Mark Street, I've got to get him and kill him. He framed me. He killed him. Let me go home. No, go with me. You can't let him get away. He's here. I saw him. Mark Street, listen to me. I'll get you. I tell you, I'll get you like you got her. 3 times. Once across your face and once through the neck. Once through your heart. I'll get you, Mark Street. I swear I'll get you. I'm asking you as a particular favor to me, Rogan, to behave yourself. Yeah. Now, every man in this cell block is a condemned man. Disturbances just make it harder for everyone concerned.
I ain't going to be with you long, Warden.
There's 2 weeks yet, my boy.
I'm not going out that way.
Oh. Escape, eh?
I'm just telling you not to count too much on springing that trap.
Don't try it, Rogan. No man's ever escaped from the death house in this penitentiary. And no man ever will.
Yeah?
Well, this is it, Rogan.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, hello, Rico. Oh, guard, open the cell door. In here, Rogan.
What's the matter, Warden? Your hotel getting crowded, so you got to give me a roommate?
Now behave yourselves, men. I don't want any trouble.
Sure, Warden. We don't make any trouble.
I hope not. See you later.
Warden's like a school teacher. Huh, Rogan?
How do you know my name?
Yeah, there ain't much going on around here Rico Bartelli don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
How do you get out of here?
Well, there's 2 ways. One through that door where you just came in with the warden, and the other through that green door down there at the other end. That's a funny door. It only opens up one way.
You're not going to hang me.
A lot of guys say that, but they feed the worms just the same.
I'm getting out of here.
Hell, it's easy just to talk.
I got to get out.
Why?
To kill.
You crazy? Well, never mind. To me, it don't make no difference just so long as you help me. I told you Rico Bartelli knows lots of things. Well, listen to this. I know a way to crack this place.
You're just talking.
A guy in my spot don't just talk, my friend. Me, I ain't got time for talk.
Yeah?
They think they're going to hang me 3 days from now.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why when I say something, I mean it. For you, too. If you got the guts.
I'm listening.
Look, every day, 4 o'clock, they'll let me and you out in the room down there that they call an exercise room. We're supposed to walk up and down and get exercise so we'll feel good when they stretch our neck. Only you and me in the exercise room for 10 minutes. No guards. They figure it's all right. Because the room ain't got nothing in it, no window. And the guard locks it up from the outside.
And how do you expect...
I'm trying to tell you. In the room, there's nothing. Bare walls. Bare floor. And in the floor, there's one iron saw lead leading down to the saw that runs under this place to the river.
Marie?
Sure. You do like I say, and Marie will see you pretty quick.
This water, how deep is it?
Well,
No. Doesn't make any difference. I can swim in it.
Yeah, not in this water, my friend.
Why not? How far is it from where we can get in the sewer to the river?
A mile.
I can swim 12
Yeah,
miles.
not in this water.
Why not? Tell me why not.
Hey, you guys, pipe down.
Okay, screw. We're going to sleep.
Tell me. Why not?
Because, my friend, after the pipe that's under the exercise room goes a little way, it joins the main pipe.
Well?
And on the main saw, there's no room for swimming. The pipe's filled to the top with water.
I'll swim it anyway.
And breathe what? The water?
I gotta get out.
Sure, you've said that before. But you ain't going to get out if you don't listen to Rico. I tell you, the water in the sewer is up to the top. Maybe half or 1 inch clear air up on top. Not enough to swim, my friend. But just enough to get air if you got the right thing.
What? A diving rig?
No. A little piece of rubber pipe that you keep in your mouth. And you stick it up out of the water so you're sucking the air while you walk through the water. That's over your head.
Where do you get the rubber hose?
Here. See? I got one right here. And I got another one for you. This end stuck in my mouth. Listen, I raise it high like this, so it sticks up out of the water, and I suck up that little inch of air that's waiting up there on top.
Mark Street, I'll be coming for you soon.
Mark Street, what's that? All I want to know is you're going to break with me down the sewer tomorrow.
Man, you don't know what you're doing for me.
Shut your mouth. I do it because I can't lift a heavy sewer lid by myself. But with you, we'll lift it.
We'll lift it.
Okay. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, we try, huh?
4 o'clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, a deep breath, please, before we go on with the story of vengeance and Mac Rogan. Yes, and while we do so, girls, is this how you feel these strenuous war days?
No, I'm not going to dance for the soldiers. I'm too tired out to enjoy it. And since I've gotten so thin and run down and on edge, nobody wants to dance with me anyway.
Well, you don't look so good lately. But listen, you know Sally Blake? Well, she was underweight and weary and jumpy, too. And she found out that all she needed was more vitamin B and iron.
Vitamin B and iron? I don't understand.
Let me explain, miss. When you don't get enough vitamin B from your food, you may lose your appetite, so you don't eat enough. And then you may lose weight and lose your pep. Or you may not get all the good out of your food. And when you don't get enough iron from what you eat, you may be weak and pale and washed out.
Oh, dear. If more vitamin B and iron is what I need, I suppose I've got to take some disagreeable medicine.
Sally didn't. She took ironized yeast tablets. She says they're a cinch to take. Just pleasant little tablets. And you should see Sally now. She feels so peppy, and she looks like a million.
That's easily explained, too. Ironized yeast gives you vitamin B plus iron. So when you need them, it helps 2 ways to step up your weight and pep and sparkle. Try ironized yeast if more vitamin B and iron is what you need. Then see if pretty quick you aren't saying,
Well, I feel grand now. And since I've gained these nice pounds, I guess I look good, too. That handsome sergeant's always phoning me lately. Ironized yeast sure is wonderful.
And now, back to Lights Out. This is the day and the time for the 2 condemned men to make their cry for freedom.
Get plenty of exercise, boys. Won't be long now.
Sure, screw. Well exercised.
Frico. The floor, there's no sewer lid in it.
What, do you think they got a label on it or something?
Quit talking. We gotta move fast. Show me for the leather.
Okay. Keep your pants on. Yeah. You see this circle on the floor?
Yeah.
That's a lid. It's covered with cement just like the floor.
Mother in heaven, all that weight. How'll we lift it out?
Keep quiet. Yeah. I got something that'll do the work.
A cold chisel.
I told you Rico Bartelli's a smart guy. This little piece of steel cost me plenty. But I got her, and she's going to get me right out of here. Now, listen.
Yeah.
Look. I stick the chisel in the crack. I push up. The cover, it comes up a little bit. And you stick your fingers underneath.
Okay.
Up. I got it. There. Now get your fingers under.
Yeah. Okay.
Now lift. Lift.
Liz, you're crushing my fingers.
Don't make noise. God, don't make any noise.
Fingers, mother of mercy, my fingers. Get that lid off me.
I'll get it up again. Don't yell. That's a God of you. Look, guy on the roof. Get the lid up. There. I got it. Now help me. I've got it up again. Help me lift it.
Yeah. Okay.
There it comes. There we go. Let it down. Rub your fingers, huh?
Devil with my fingers. Let's go.
Okay. You drop down there first. I don't know how deep the water is.
Here goes.
Rogan. Is it all right down there?
Yeah. Come on.
Okay. Water's not so deep.
It's only up to my waist. Which way now?
This way. Come on. So blasted dark. I know the way. Yeah. The pigs.
Faster. Lead the way faster.
I can't go too fast. Main sewer is someplace along here. I might fall in.
Okay.
Well, yes. Thanks.
Keep going.
It's black. I can't see nothing. I'll make a run.
Shut up.
What?
Shut up. The water, don't you feel? It's moving faster.
Yeah, you're right. That means the main source up ahead.
Come on.
Don't get so excited.
Why shouldn't I? The main pipe's ahead.
Yeah, the main pipe's ahead.
That means we're going right. Oh, I'm not afraid of drowning. If I can't drown, I've got to kill him first. I can't drown.
Oh.
It doesn't matter to you. Come on. Wait a minute. Give me my piece of rubber hose first.
Rubber hose?
Yeah, sure, like you told me to breathe through in the main sewer. Give it to me now in case the water separates us.
Give you what?
What's the matter with you?
Me?
Tell me what's up.
Sure, why not? I only got one piece of rubber hose.
But, Rico, you said...
What I say and what is, that's two different things. I got one. For me.
And me?
You help me lift up that solid. Okay, that's swell. Now, if you want to go out and knock off that guy you always talk about, okay, I ain't stopping you. Take a swim for yourself.
Give me that piece of hose.
You better take that swim while you're still healthy, my friend.
Give me that hose.
Stay back from
me. Give it to me.
Okay, I'll give you.
Oh, my arm. Oh, chisel tried to knife me.
Hey, get out. You.
Devil, I got you now.
Oh, my arm.
Yes, your arm, Rico. Bending it to make you bend over. Bend over, Rico, over. Get that head of yours under the water.
No.
Drink it, Rico. Fill your double-crossing lungs with it. Drink. All right, Rico. I've got the chisel and the hose. Now you take that swim that you were going to give me. Now, Mark Street, I'm coming after you.
Hey, now, bud, shut the door. We're closed, see? Might as well scram. 1 o'clock's closing hours in this town.
Help me.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Mark Street.
Huh? What's that you said?
Mark Street. Where is he?
Mark Street? Oh, you mean that lanky chiseler that... I didn't know exactly. I ain't seen the guy recent.
Where is he?
Hennessy's place. Yeah, that's it. I remember hearing a couple of the boys saying he moved in up there. Say, wait a minute, fella. Don't you want a drink? Don't you want me to... Well, is that a note? Walks right out on me. I wonder what in the... Gee. Ain't that a funny thing? It ain't rained around here for a week. And the guy's clothes were soaking wet.
All right, I'm coming. Waking a man up in the middle of the night, that's disturbing the peace. Well, what's the matter?
Tell me.
Tell you what? What's the matter? You drunk? What do you want?
Mark Street.
Mark Street? Is that what you said?
They told me. He's staying here.
He was staying here, you mean?
He's gone?
That's all right. He's gone.
Tell me, where is he now?
He's down 6 feet in the Rosamond Cemetery. Mark Street. He's died last week. Good night.
Mark Street died last week. No, Mark Street, you can't cheat me that way. Rosemont Cemetery said. All right, Mark Street. I'm coming out to you. Where's John Burt? Oh. So dark. So dark, if only the moon would... Ah, now I can see. Here lies my beloved wife. No, not you. Mark Street, where are you? Where? So many graves, white stones, moonlight, so many dead. If you are here, I'll find you. Here lie the mortal remains of Henry Owen. Oh, no. I've got to find you, Mark Street. I've got to. Maybe this one. Here lies Mark Street. I found you, Mark Street. I found you. All is dead. I found you. But are you dead? I must know. I will 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 know. I will. I will know. I will know. I will know. I will know. The coffin. The coffin. Oh, I'm down to you at last, Mark Street. Now I'll know. Oh, they covered you well. If it is you. Yes. It is you, Mark Street. Cheated me. Oh, no. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe in another world beyond this one. A world of dead. Where you are now. I'll go there. I'll get you there. Rico's cold chisel in my hand. I'll shove it in my heart, and then I'll be just like you. You hear me, Mark Street? It's Mac. Mac Rogan talking to you wherever you are. I'm coming to you.
Mac Rogan.
Mark Street, I'm coming to you.
Mac Rogan.
Marie.
Mac.
Marie, I heard. How? When? I don't know. I heard you calling me.
Mac Rogan.
It is you, Marie. I heard you. I can hardly see. I don't know where I am, but I heard you.
You got your wish, my darling.
What?
Look. There in front of you.
Mark Street. Mark Street at last?
No, let me go. The dead can't kill the dead. Let me go.
And the knife. The knife you killed her with is in my hand. The knife. At last, Mark Street, I'll give you what you gave her.
No.
Once in the face.
No.
Twice. A third time. Now, go back to your grave, Mark Street. And I'll go to mine.
Mr. Obler, do you really think that revenge can go beyond the grave?
I'd like to think that it doesn't. I'd like to think that murder and mercy find equal rest in peaceful death.
Well, I'm interested in next week's story. You go back to California to do that one. What's it going to be about?
It's a long postponed tale. I started to do it 3 times in this program, and each time something happened. I'll tell you of those postponements in a moment, after you finish what you want to tell us.
Well, briefly, folks, if it's vitamin B and iron shortage that's keeping you thin and weak, tired, washed out, and really only half living, then do try ironized yeast tablets right away. They give you both vitamin B and iron. They cost but a few pennies a day, and they're sold on this no-risk, money-back basis. If you don't quickly begin to eat better, sleep better, feel much stronger and peppier, and if you are not convinced that ironized yeast will help you gain just the good pounds you need to look your best, the cost of the first bottle will be refunded to you in full by Ironized Yeast, Box IY, Rahway, New Jersey. Just be sure you get the one and only ironized yeast. Always ask for it by its full name, Ironized Yeast, and look for the big IY on the package and on each tablet. And now, what about this postponed story, Mr. Obler?
Well, we all start things we don't finish. Now, before I started a word and started and didn't finish it. And that reminds me of something that you folks may not have finished. I'm referring to your war stamp book. Don't say what again and turn that dial. You know that boy who used to live up the street from you who's in that flying fortress? He can't turn any dials and get out of there when the shrapnel gets close. He's got to keep on. And so how about you and that war stamp book? How long since you put another stamp in it? Remember, 4 25-cent stamps will buy a hand grenade. 15 50-cent stamps buy an anti-tank mine. 6 25-cent stamps a winter combat helmet. Yes, your money in war stamps can actually save the life of an American soldier. Here's another way to look at it. War stamps earn no interest. War bonds, on the other hand, do. They pay you back $4 for every 3. So looking at it either way as a dollar investment for your future, or better yet, an investment in a free world, you'd better put those spare dimes and quarters to work against the Axis for victory and for you. In the future, well, it'll mean a future of a free world.
Ladies and gentlemen, tune in next Tuesday again for Arch Obler's eerie story, He Dug It Up, a strange tale inspired by a visit to pre-war England. And if you need more vitamin B and iron, be sure to try ironized yeast, the one and only ironized yeast with the big letters IY on the package and on each tablet. It is later than you think.
Time waits for no man these days, not even for a man to shave. Speed is mighty important. So why not enjoy the quick, comfortable shaves that you get with Mole Brushless Shaving Cream? A quick yet comfortable shave. Quick because you can spread Mole over your face as fast as you can move your fingertips. Quick because Mole forms a protective film between your skin and your razor. Gives your razor something to ride on. Thus your razor just seems to skate over your skin, but your whiskers come off close and clean. Comfortable because Mole's protective film helps guard you from nicks and cuts. So why not try Mole today?
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Unsolved Mysteries. Out of deference to people who may still be living, character names in some of these true unsolved mysteries have been changed.
I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul. Freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end. So spoke the ghost of Hamlet's father, but the words might well have been applied to the horror of Bene, Debele. Is the heart of darkest Africa, a tiny nameless village not far from Bene, Debele. The village but a small clearing fighting off the ever-engulfing jungle. The jungle, dark, mysterious, full of fearful sounds and fuller yet of fearsome shadows. Overhead the sky is lost beyond the locked and twisted branches of tall trees, and below the black of night is pierced by the kill call of the lion, the sharp hysterical laugh of the hyena, shuddering whimpering of a group of natives shivering about the campfire. 3 white men, their rifles across their knees, stare out into the surrounding blackness.
If you want to know what I think you fellas are batty. You've been out here too long. You've let a lot of native gossip get under your hide. Now, wait a minute, Jack. I haven't seen this thing.
The natives who have seen it say it's a black leopard. I've only seen its tracks, and they're enormous, bigger than any lion spoor I've ever seen. I set a trap for the brute last night. It didn't go off, and this morning I went to take a look at it. It had been set off by hand.
One of the natives probably set it off.
Do you think any one of the natives would come out here after dark, with almost a dozen of their brothers lying back there mangled so that you can't tell they were ever human beings? Not on your life.
Irrespective of what it is, we've got to kill it, or the natives will pack up and leave the village. You can't convince them that it is Nona Kappa, the witch doctor.
But it's so silly. The idea that just because they expelled the witch doctor, that he should turn himself into a black leopard and come back to kill them one by one. Why, it's silly.
Maybe it is silly. But look at it from their standpoint. Old Nakapa, who's 70 yippies a day, wants to marry the village belle. Her father defies the witch doctor, and the old devil casts a spell on her. In a week, she's dead.
Jack will say that's coincidence.
Yes, because he hasn't been out here as long as we have. In any case, the villagers drive old Nakapa out of the village. He curses them and the village and tells them that he'll return in the form of a wild beast and kill them one by one.
And the next night, one of them is mauled by a black panther. And the night after that, and after that, and after that, till 10 of them have been killed. Laugh that off, will you?
Coincidence.
Listen, I'm willing to accept 1 or 2 as coincidence, but 10, that's different.
Why not 10? If the brute's got a taste for human flesh, why not the whole village? If he's a man-eating panther.
There's a subtle distinction between a panther and a leopard. Leopards are not man-eaters.
And why only the men? Since even a wild animal knows that the women are easier to get.
You're jittery, that's all.
Stay tuned. We've got more of this unsolved mystery coming up right after this short break. And now let's return to Unsolved Mystery on When Radio Was.
What's that?
You're not jittery, are you? Well, that's probably a wild parrot.
That? A parrot? Rot.
Then you name it. Go on. You've heard it twice. Name it.
Well, I can't. I never heard anything like it.
Why not? Yes, Mitchie.
He come. That Nakapa. You hear him? Nakapa give witch doctor call of death.
That scream we heard was the witch doctor.
You heard what Mitchie said.
Come on. Time we're getting away from fire.
Yes, Mitchie.
Yes, Buana.
Well, boy, who afraid, follow me. Lie quiet by fire. No move, no speak. Only lie quiet.
Yes, Buana. May tell him, number one.
All right, fellows, follow me. We'll get on to the trail.
Forcing their way through the dense underbrush, the three white men, followed closely by their gun bearers, worked their way to the animal trail. The jungle has become strangely still at the horrifying shrieks of the witch doctor, almost as though brute beasts though they were, they voiced silent disapproval of anything so brutish. The party pushes on, their general direction toward Bene Debele. Suddenly, holding up his hand for silence, Frank stops. Then points to a yawning black hole in the already black jungle. A pair of gleaming eyes. A streak of glistening white below. The foam-flecked jaws of a maddened animal.
Take careful aim. You, Bill, after me, and you, Jack, take the brute if he leaps to the right.
Right, okay.
Again.
It's gone. I know I
So
hit
did I. Come on, let's hurry.
Look here, the tracks.
Come here, quick.
What is it?
We did hit it. Look.
Somebody's shot took effect. Why, that shot popped its jaw away.
Buana! Come on. It's at the village.
Even the beasts know there's something not quite right.
Beats me how the brute can run at all. It must be more than half dead. If it gets into the compound, we'll have no difficulty finding it.
We'll be at the compound in a moment.
Buana!
Yes, Nietzsche.
Here, Buana. Here is train again.
My gosh, he's right. Look, headed this way.
What on earth does a half-dead animal want to come this way for? It has to cross the whole length of the compound before it can reach jungle again.
Take it easy now, fellows. We're at the end of the trail.
Bleeding pretty badly now. The spore's soaking.
All right. I'll go first. And no foolhardiness. No hasty shooting.
Right. Look, the trail leads right to your bungalow.
I know it. Stand back. I'm going first.
It went into the living room. Look out when you go through the opening.
This is the...
Jack stops dead. His eyes start from his head. The bloody paw marks cross the bare wood floor and end before a huge oak chest. He points and stutters.
Why, it isn't here.
Yes, it is. Got your 45 ready, Bill?
Yes.
Stand on the left side of the chest. You, Jack, in front. I'll open it.
On tiptoe and in silence, the three men take their places. The native boys crouch in the open doorway. Taking his 45 in his left hand, Frank slowly opens the heavy lid of the chest. A gasp of horror escapes them. Incredulously, Jack leans farther forward and stares into the chest. Sprawled like some nightmarish monster, half his jaw shot away, lies Nakapa, the witch doctor, the horror of Bene Debele. Dead. In just a moment, you will hear a solution to the mystery of the horror of Bene Debele. Ladies and gentlemen, inasmuch as any solution must of necessity be supposition, liberties of time, place, and character have been taken with the solution for which you have been waiting. The scene is Frank Hilton's bungalow 1 hour later. The natives have disposed of the horror, and the three white men are seated at the table while Nietzsche, the native boy, serves them something to steady their nerves.
Well, Jack, what have you to say now?
Nothing. I want to forget it.
You won't. Not as long as you live.
But it's impossible. I expect to wake up any minute and find it's all a nightmare.
Yes, and every time you think of it, you'll do the same thing.
In spite of the fact that I was here, I still don't believe it.
Oh, it's true, all right. This isn't my first experience with one of the things. No, and not Bill's either. You'll get used to it if you live here long enough.
Not me. I'll take my chances elsewhere. What would you call it?
Never mind what I call it. Science calls it lycanthropy.
Science? Does science recognize what we just saw?
Yes. Lycanthropy is, first in folklore, the liability of a person to turn into an animal, and secondly in pathology, the belief of a person that he or she is some sort of an animal.
Sort of insanity?
Yes. The idea is this, that the person who, through mental maladjustment, begins to think like an animal will, when removed from the company of human beings, actually turn into an animal.
But it's impossible. Humanly impossible. Biologically impossible.
Yeah. Take a look at this. I've kept it for such unbelievers as you.
Extract from volume 17 of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes, I had it copied.
As a pathological state, it is characterized by the patient's belief that he has been metamorphosed into an animal and is often accompanied by craving for strange articles of food, including the flesh of human beings or corpses. But when he leaves the neighborhood of a man, real metamorphosis may be asserted.
Pleasant sort of idea, isn't it?
It's ghastly.
The common name is werewolves, but wolves are by no means the only animal. The Britannica states further. In Java, we meet with the wer-tiger. In South America, the wer-jaguar. In Abyssinia, generally a woman and in the form of hyena or leopard.
And this is the world in which we live.
Yes. Shakespeare expressed it admirably when he wrote, "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamed of in our philosophy."
And now, stay tuned for the program that is rated tops in popularity for a longer period of time than any other West Coast program in radio history. The Signal Oil program, The Whistler.
Signal gasoline.
Signal, the famous Go Farther gasoline, invites you to sit back and enjoy another strange story by The Whistler. For extra driving pleasure, the signal to look for is the yellow and black circle sign that identifies Signal service stations from Canada to Mexico. And for Sunday evening listening pleasure, the signal to listen for is this whistle that identifies the Signal Oil program, The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
And now the Whistler's strange story, The Hermit.
The storm made it all seem ghostly somehow, unreal. Ben's face at the window, the worried, frightened look in his eyes. For a moment, Harvey Wilson considered giving it all up and heading back to town and the railroad station. But the storm decided this, too. It was getting worse, and with his clothes already half soaked, Harvey Wilson was in no mood to give up. He called out again insistently,
Come on, Ben, open up. It's your old friend Harvey Wilson.
Go away. I don't want to see anyone.
Ben, for goodness sake, I'm just stopping through. You're going to make me go clear back to the station. Ben! Oh, that's better. I thought you weren't going to let me in.
Well, what do you want? You've no reason to call on me, Wilson.
Reasons. That's the trouble with the world. Always have to find reasons to call, excuses to visit. The old milk of human kindness is almost dry. I was just passing through, Ben. You going to let me stand out here till I'm drenched?
All right. Come in.
Well, nice fire going. Let me move there, quick. Better. Much better.
Harvey Wilson. All right, now really, why did you come here?
Just let me get this wet coat off. Well, like I said, it's passing through, Ben, heading up north.
Still a salesman, still on the road, are you?
That's right, Ben. Same old line.
Yeah, I remember. You think what all the rest of them do, don't you, Harvey?
What?
About the money. All that money I'm supposed to have embezzled. You'd know plenty about it, Harvey. You talked to people from the company. Heard how they fired me.
Ben, that was years ago.
It's not too many years ago. I know what you're thinking. That I've been afraid to spend it, and I still haven't.
I think no such thing.
You always were a sly one, Harvey. Just passing through. Just took you this long to find me, that's all.
Ben, let's get one thing straight right away.
I don't think you had anything to do with taking that money.
Yeah.
You don't believe me, do you?
I'd like to. I'd like to think somebody believed.
But you don't. Go ahead, say you don't. I can see, Ben. I know you.
Maybe you do, Harvey. I think I know you. Always did. You haven't changed much. Certainly not around the eyes. Still eager, aren't you?
Now, let's be friends. It's only for a few hours.
Till morning, huh? You want to stay overnight?
If you really don't mind.
I do, but that's all right. I'll put you up, Harvey. Just this once.
Now, there's a good friend. You're all right, Ben. I always knew it. And you won't be sorry. No, sir.
Well, Harvey, you found him. Your old friend Ben. He's living like a hermit here, isn't he? Afraid to spend the money he embezzled. But you're sure he has it, aren't you? And that it must be hidden somewhere in this old house. You wait a couple of hours after he shows you upstairs to a room. Then, when you're sure he's asleep, you let yourself out, slip quietly down the hall to the stairs. The fire is still throwing a good light, and you move around the room, searching systematically, checking the floorboards, the walls, when suddenly...
Ben.
Yes, Harvey. Your friend, Ben. You believe me. You're like all of my relatives, the people who worked with me.
Stay away from me, Ben.
Oh, you're getting out of here. I'm putting you out.
Ben, I warn you.
Put it down, Harvey. That's my collection,
Just a bookend, Ben. One that I'll use on you if...
Put it down, I say.
I'll put it down, all right.
Harvey, no!
You put the heavy bookend on the table, stare down at the floor where Ben fell, and you realize he's dead, that you've killed him. It's a terrible feeling at first, isn't it? And then you begin to wonder if you didn't expect something like this from the first. You want that money, don't you, Harvey? And you came here to get it. You can stay as long as you wish now, without worry of interruption. With an effort, you drag Ben's body behind a heavy sofa in a far corner of the room, then go over to the fire again. You're standing there alone when you suddenly hear footsteps.
Who is it? Who's there?
Hello?
Huh? Who?
I'm sorry. The front door wasn't locked.
Well, you just walked in?
I didn't mean to startle you, but the rain was... Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben? I'm not your...
Oh, of course you don't remember me. I wouldn't remember you. I was a child when...
You're...
Joan Benton, your niece. Uncle Ben.
Yes?
Didn't you get my telegram?
Telegram?
Yes, I sent it yesterday, Uncle Ben. I've come to spend a week with you.
As Jimmy Durante would say,
everybody wants to get into the act.
At least judging by the number of limericks you Whistler fans have been sending in since I started reading them a few weeks ago, a lot of you are certainly getting a kick out of the idea. So to make it even more fun, we're going to send a Signal coupon book good for $20 worth of Signal gasoline to every Whistler fan who sends in a limerick that I read on this program. Understand, this is not a contest. That $20 Signal coupon book is merely a token of our appreciation of your interest. But your real fun comes later, after your friends hear your limerick read on the Whistler. If you'd like to try it, just write a 5-line limerick about Signal's famous Go Farther gasoline, such as this. There once was a driver named Archibald Fry who bought the wrong gas, and of course he ran dry. Said he in disgust as he missed the last bus, next time it's Signal Go Farther I'll buy. On your limerick, be sure to print clearly your name and address, and then mail it to this address: The Whistler, Signal Oil Company, Los Angeles, California.
Signal, Signal, Signal gasoline. Your car will go far with Go Farther gasoline.
And now, back to the Whistler.
It's a shock, isn't it, Harvey? The suddenness of it all. Joan's arrival moments after you killed her uncle, Ben Masters. And now Joan thinks that you're her Uncle Ben, and she's come to spend the week here at the house. You could send Joan away, but you decide to let her stay, at least until you've been able to think it all out and find the money you're sure that Ben stole. Carefully, you get her out of the living room and show her upstairs to a room. Now, Harvey, you've got to move Ben's body. You decide on the cellar as the safest place. It's a struggle moving him that distance, but you manage it. Carry him into a small furnace room down there. Then you close the door of that furnace room, step back carefully, avoiding some freshly dug holes for new water pipes, and then...
Huh? Who is it?
It's me, Uncle Ben.
Joan, I thought I said...
I'm sorry. I can't sleep, Uncle Ben. Please?
Well, don't come down here. I'll be up. Fine thing, bursting into my house, wandering around. Just trouble, that's all. Relatives, just trouble.
Uncle Ben, please. Can't we go in, fix the fire, and talk a while? I'm just dying to talk to you, Uncle Ben. Please?
All right. For a while, Joan. We'll talk.
You didn't count on this, did you, Harvey? And your nerves can't take it much longer. The girl wants to talk, and not just for a while like she said. Only fortunately, she does nearly all the talking, and it fills you in on Ben's family, his brother, Joan's father. Still, it's hours almost dawn before Joan finally decides to go to bed. Then you continue the search, and you wonder about Joan. Why she came here after not seeing Ben since early childhood. Wonder if her parents know she's here. She seems a nice girl, doesn't she, Harvey? Young, exciting. You almost wish you could talk to her, see how she would react to the truth. And you're still wondering about it as you hear the clock striking in the front hall. 6 a.m. And you've found nothing.
Wonderful breakfast, my dear. You're an excellent cook.
Thank you, Uncle Ben. I did have a little trouble getting everything together. You know, finding things. I didn't want to disturb you.
Very good jam, miss, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. You must be terribly fond of jam, Uncle Ben. Goodness, I never saw so many jars in anyone's cellar.
Cellar?
Why, yes. That's where I got this jar. Shouldn't I?
Oh, wait. It's quite all right.
I couldn't find any jam in the cupboards here, so...
May I have the sugar, my dear?
Here you are. Uncle Ben.
Yes?
What's going on in the cellar?
What?
The floor. All that digging. Those holes.
Oh, that. Well, I've been having some trouble with the water pipes, you see.
Oh, I thought it was something like that. More toast, Uncle Ben?
It was close, wasn't it, Harvey? And later you have cause for more concern.
Writing a letter, my dear?
Just a note to Mother. You know how she worries. Promised I'd write as soon as I arrived here.
Telling her all about your trip, eh?
That and about you.
Oh? Joan, my dear.
Yes?
I wonder if I might add a postscript to your mother.
Oh, would you, Uncle Ben?
Just a few lines at the bottom of the letter, if you don't mind.
Of course I don't mind. Here.
You have no intention of adding just a few lines. No. It's just a precautionary measure, isn't it, Harvey? You read the letter quickly to make certain that she hasn't written anything to give you away. But you're quite safe, aren't you? It's just the type of letter you'd expect a girl like Joan to write. The having a fine time variety. And she's quite lavish in her praise of charming Uncle Ben.
Very good. Here you are, my dear.
But aren't you going to write anything?
After such a beautiful letter, what could I say? Why don't you just add, Uncle Ben says hello, hmm?
Well, all right.
That evening, the opportunity to continue your search of the house presents itself. It's difficult to do much during the day, isn't it, Harvey? With a girl, Joan, always around you, you have so little time alone. You leave Joan at her bedroom door, say goodnight, and then hurry down the hall to your own room. Sitting in the darkness, you wait till finally the hall clock strikes 11. You tiptoe down the corridor, past Joan's room, hurry down to the library. As you're about to open the door, you hear someone moving about inside.
Looking for something, my dear?
Oh, Uncle Ben, you frightened me.
May I help you?
I hope you don't mind my going through your desk like this. I was just looking for some writing paper. I seem to have used all mine.
I see. Have you found any?
Yes, here. It's all right if I take it, isn't it?
Of course, Joan. Of course.
Thanks. Well, good night again, Uncle Ben.
Good night.
As you watch the girl hurry from the room, the thought suddenly occurs to you. It's possible she's playing the same game you are, Harvey. Yes, it's possible she isn't really Ben Master's niece at all. That she knows about the money, too, and is here to get it. You wait patiently until you're certain that she's sound asleep. Slip quietly into her room. Locate her suitcase and take it out into the hall. Inside, you find a letter. A letter addressed to
Mrs. Paul Gates.
Yes, Harvey. Mrs. Paul Gates. Not Joan Benton, the name she told you. Another name. The following morning, after another night of fruitless searching for the money, you're starting down to breakfast when you overhear Joan talking softly to someone on the telephone.
Yes,
you hurry forward, quietly straining to listen.
It'll work out perfectly. What? No, he doesn't suspect a thing. I've got to ring off now. He may hear me. Yes, I'll be careful. Bye. Oh, you startled me, Uncle Ben.
Oh? Sorry.
Have a nice sleep?
Not too nice, no.
Oh? Nightmares or something?
As a matter of fact, it was a nightmare, Joan. I dreamt you turned out to be someone else. Not really my niece at all.
Oh, really?
Fantastic thing. You were here to steal my money. I became so angry when I found out, I wanted to kill you.
Uncle Ben.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm frightening you. That bacon smells good.
Would you like scrambled eggs this morning?
Fine, Joan. Fine.
You watch her closely during breakfast, but she betrays no sign of fear. Breakfast over, you leave her in the kitchen, hurry down to the cellar, and continue your search for the money. But the money isn't to be found. Then upstairs, as you walk along the front hall, you hear sounds from the den and decide to go down.
What are you doing, Joan?
Oh, just tidying up. Dusting.
You shouldn't be moving that heavy furniture, child.
Oh, it's nothing really. You don't mind, do you, Uncle Ben? My sort of taking over, doing things. I'm afraid you're not a very good housekeeper.
No, I don't suppose I am, Joan.
It's a smart move on her part, isn't it, Harvey? If she's really looking for the money. Cleaning house gives her the perfect opportunity to search each room carefully, inspect every piece of furniture. After she's gone, you begin to move the pieces of furniture back into place. And then it happens. Suddenly, quite by accident. As you slide a small bookcase into place, one of its edges strikes the wall sharply. A section of the paneling gives away and swings back on rusty hinges. Quickly, you slide the bookcase out of the way, and then you see it. The small wall safe. Unlocked and empty. Joan got here before you, didn't she, Harvey? You whirl around, hurry from the den, and as you step out into the hall...
Oh, Uncle Ben!
You stop suddenly. Joan is standing by the front door, and there's someone with her.
Uncle Ben, this gentleman's car ran out of gas. He wondered if he might use the phone.
I want to call the signal station down the road.
Why, of course, my dear. Go right ahead, young man.
The lucky thing for me, I stalled practically outside your door. Sorry to disturb you.
It's quite all right.
You turn, walk back into the den, and close the door, trying to act unconcerned. Then you hurry to the den window, see the young man's car parked off the road behind a tree. You slip into a raincoat, hurry outside. At the car, you find the key still in the ignition. You turn it on. The gas gauge shows that the tank is half full. And then something else. The registration on the steering post.
Paul D. Gates. I knew it.
Yes, you're certain, aren't you, Harvey? Paul D. Gates, the girl's husband. Her partner in a clever ruse to take Uncle Ben's stolen money. You consider taking the car and running, but the thought of the money holds you. You came here for it, didn't you? You're going to get it at any cost.
Oh, Uncle Ben, come in.
The man at the station is sending someone out right away.
You don't mind if he waits here a while, do you, Uncle Ben?
No, of course not, my dear.
I'm sure they'll be along soon. In no hurry anyway. I'm rather enjoying the conversation with your niece.
Well, get on with it then. You don't mind if I sort of horn in, do you?
Why, no. No, of course not, Uncle Ben.
You sit back in the easy chair, watch them closely, listen to them make idle chatter. They're clever, aren't they, Harvey? Cool and clever. But they're not clever enough to fool you. You're certain that Joan has the money. You're just waiting for the opportunity to slip away. But they're not going to, are they? And as the minutes tick by, a plan begins to take shape in your mind. Finally, you decide to put your plan into operation.
Joan, my dear, perhaps the gentleman would enjoy a cup of tea. I'm sure I would.
Oh, don't go to any trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I'll just be a few minutes.
Smoke?
Why, yes, thank you.
Good cigars, these. You'll like them. Have them made special. Light?
Thank you. Say, this is a good cigar.
I'm glad you like it. Say, are you by any chance interested in Chinese art?
Well, never thought much about it one way or the other. But I must say, you do have some beautiful things here, sir.
I think so. Now, take this pair of bookends, for example. Ever see anything like one of these?
They're beautiful. They're heavy, too.
Yes, quite heavy. A friend of mine sent them to me from... Oh, isn't that the service truck from the gas station?
What?
Out front. You can see it there from that window.
Where? I don't...
You stoop quickly to drag the unconscious Mr. Gates out of the way, and then freeze, fascinated as you stare down at the floor. The bookend, Harvey, from old Ben's collection. It smashed as you dropped it after striking Gates a glancing blow. And you see that it's filled with currency in large bills. So you found old Ben's hiding place. He did take the money and hide it. And now you have it.
Uncle Ben.
Huh? Oh, Joan. It's all right. You can drop the act now.
What have you done to him?
Your friend is out for a while, my dear.
The money. You have it?
Yes, most of it. I imagine there's a good deal more in that other bookend. No wonder they were made so large.
I don't understand why you hit him.
You're a very clever young lady, Joan. Or rather, Mrs. Paul Gates. Yes, clever. But you don't fool me one bit.
What?
You and your Mr. Gates. I suspected from the start. You better sit down, my dear, while I decide what to do with you and your husband. This money is mine, and I'm keeping it.
Now, a word to gamblers. I mean those of you who are gambling with your own life and the lives of your passengers. by trying to squeeze that last 1,000 or so miles of wear out of smooth old tires. You know, of course, that smooth tires are unsafe. They don't stop as quickly. They skid. And they puncture or blow out more easily. In fact, records show that in 1 year, almost 6,000 vehicles involved in fatal and non-fatal accidents had either punctures or blowouts. So much for what you stand to lose. The next question is, what do you save by gambling on old tires? Well, right now, the answer is nothing. In fact, it's actually costing you money. Because now, signal dealers are giving today's biggest trade-in allowance for old tires. What's more, the Lee tires your signal dealer is now selling are made of cold rubber, toughened still further with patented Fill Black O, and actually give 30 to 40% more wear than ever before. So it's just penny wise and pound foolish to keep driving on smooth old tires. It's time to find out how little it will cost to trade your unsafe old tires for safe new Lee tires at signal stations now.
It's time for the showdown, isn't it, Harvey? And you congratulate yourself. You were smart enough to see through her plan, weren't you? You're certain she was after the money, that she planned to get help in taking it from you, sent for her husband and partner, Paul Gates. But he can't help her now, can he? You've taken care of him. He's unconscious. And now you're going to take care of Joan. You watch her as she stares at you, puzzled.
So, you did take the money. You had it all the time.
Not all the time, my dear.
Yes, you did. I believed you. Told everybody at home that you were too nice to have stolen anything, ever.
What are you talking about?
Paul is my husband, like you discovered. We were passing through town, and I decided to look you up.
Now, don't give me that. You came for the money. Here, what are you doing?
I can make him more comfortable while we talk. Poor Paul. You might have killed him in your anger. All this mistrust in the world. I thought Mother and Dad and Uncle Frank were all wrong about you. Just stubborn, like when they disapproved of my marriage to Paul. I thought we were two misunderstood people. That's why I looked you up.
Will you stop this crazy act?
It isn't an act, not with me, only with you. You're a thief, just like they thought. I'm sorry I phoned them now. What will they think?
Phone them? You've asked someone else to come here?
Yes, the whole family. Mother, Dad, my brothers. I thought we'd have a reunion. All try to understand one another. That's why Paul was stalling you, waiting for them to get here.
Hello? Joan, dear, we're all here.
Just a minute. Don't come in.
Yes, all of you, come in. Mother, Dad.
Hello.
What?
What's all this? What happened to Paul?
Uncle Ben did it, Dad.
Uncle Ben?
He hit him. Knocked him out. He thought we were after his stolen money.
But where is he, Joan? Where is Uncle Ben?
What did you say?
Your mother said, where is Uncle Ben?
If this man isn't Uncle Ben, I can't tell you. You'll have to ask this imposter. Or maybe...
In that case, we better call the police. Let them ask him.
Let that whistle be your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, each Sunday night at this same time. Brought to you by the Signal Oil Company, marketers of Signal gasoline and motor oil, and fine quality automotive accessories. Signal has asked me to remind you, to get the most driving pleasure, drive at sensible speeds, be courteous, and obey traffic regulations. It may save a life, possibly your own. Featured in tonight's story were Ed Begley and Betty Moran. The Whistler was produced and directed by George W. Allen, with story by Ben S. Hunter, music by Wilbur Hatch, and was transmitted to our troops overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. The Whistler is entirely fictional, and all characters portrayed on The Whistler are also fictional. Any similarity of names or resemblance to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Remember, at the same time next Sunday, another strange tale by the Whistler.
Signal gasoline.
Your announcer has been Marvin Miller. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Palmolive Brushless and Palmolive Lather Shaving Cream presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries, starring Mary Astor.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host, Raymond, welcoming you through the squeaking door. Well, we're having a gay musicale here tonight, featuring, of course, only haunting melodies. But I'm afraid none of the performers will get a hand unless it's a cold one. You see, it's so hard to applaud after rigor mortis has set in. But you can come in and set in, too. There are plenty of seats available. And if there's nothing left in the orchestra, we can give you a box.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum story, Melody of Death, is an original radio play by Robert Tallman and Robert Sloan and stars the famous movie actress Mary Astor in the role of Anne. It is directed by Hyman Brown. Miss Astor appears tonight through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Men, Inner Sanctum Mysteries ask you to shave with Palmolive Brushless and Palmolive Lather Shaving Cream. Either Palmolive Brushless or Palmolive Lather Shaving Cream gives you the cleanest, most comfortable shave you ever had, free from razor burn, or mail the cotton top to us and we'll refund your money.
Have you a little gypsy in your home? One with a gold ring in his ear and a magic violin in his hand? Well, if he's anything like a fellow named Enrique, don't let him play an encore of the Melody of Death. Like a spidery web floating in midair, death hangs over the room where Anne is talking to her beloved David. Ghastly white, she summons the last ounce of ebbing strength to speak to him of love.
Don't leave me alone here, David. I'm afraid. Just hold me in your arms. In a few minutes, it'll all be... David, what's that on your hand? Blood. How did you get... Oh, yes, I remember now. The cat. The cat with the yellow eyes. And the music. It was the music that started the whole thing, wasn't it, David? I remember now. That evening in Lubo's cafe, Henri, the gypsy violinist, came over to our table.
The senorita is very happy this evening, no?
You don't need your gypsy magic to tell you that, do you, Henri?
The senorita is going to be married, no? You got her.
Play for us, Henri. You know the tune I like so much.
Los Infelices?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, I'm sorry, senorita, I cannot play that melody for you. Not this evening.
Why not?
You will say it is foolish gypsy superstition, perhaps, but in my tribe it is believed that for a girl newly betrothed to hear this music is bad luck. Very bad.
What kind of bad luck?
Because if she hears this music at such a time, she will
never stop hearing it. It will haunt her from that time forward. And her heart will follow the music, and she will do what the music bids her to do, even kill her lover, if the music tells her to.
Well, I'll take a chance on that, Henri.
Very well, then. I will play, but never say Henrik did not warn you.
Yes. What is it?
That cat, watching from the doorway. Look at its eyes. Yellow eyes.
Darling, you're so strange this evening. Something wrong?
Something's terribly wrong, David. The music and that cat watching from the doorway like death.
Yes.
Take me out of here quickly, David. I'm afraid.
Of course, so.
I'm sorry, David. I couldn't help myself. I felt I had to get out of there.
You'd what, darling? And what's happened to you? Why do you look at me so strangely?
I don't know. I keep thinking of what Henrik said about that melody. It was bad luck for me. I would never stop hearing it. It would haunt me and I would do its bidding. Even kill.
And stop it. Get hold of yourself.
I'm tired, I guess. You'd better take me. As we walked away from the cafe that evening, I was like a person in a hypnotic trance. I kept hearing that melody in my head.
You will never stop hearing the music. It will haunt you.
No, I won't listen to it.
Even kill your lover if the music tells you to.
No, I love David. He'll help me to forget.
No one can help you now, Anne. The music. And the cat with the yellow eyes watching from the doorway.
Like death. I fought it with all my strength, but it was no use. The music called me irresistibly back to that dingy little cafe, to Henrik, and to the cat with the yellow eyes. The cat that belonged to Lubos, a man I'd never seen.
You have come back. I knew you would. It was the music, wasn't it? The music told you to come.
How did you know?
Did I not tell you it would be so?
The other night, when you told the legend about that melody, something happened inside my head. And when you played it, it sounded so strange to me. And after that...
You hear it all the time?
Yes. I thought if I could hear the melody played again, maybe it would lift the spell. I'd do anything to stop this thing that's torturing me.
What do you know about torture? You hear music in your head. What do you know what it means to hate him until your stomach turns inside out from hatred? And to work for that man and have him watch you every minute, and when he's not here, that cat of his, that devil of a black cat, watching me with those yellow eyes.
Why do you hate Lubos so much?
Why do you hear music in your head? Who can tell about these things? There are devils in both of us. I will help you kill your devil if you will help me kill Lubos.
You're mad. You don't know what you're saying.
He lives in a ruined house. The address is 117 Green Street. Take the cat with you and tell the druggist you want chloroform to get rid of the cat. Where is he? The janitor will let you in.
Stop it. I won't listen to any more of this.
The music will tell you when it is time. The melody. Remember.
No, I won't listen to it. I won't.
But you are listening to it, aren't you? You can't help yourself. And you will do what the music tells you to do. Won't you?
No, I won't.
What is the music telling you to do?
To kill Lubos.
And you will do it. Won't you?
No,
That's right. Take the cat with you. Hurry up. Got to get there before the drugstore closes. That's right. Open the door and walk in.
Yes, miss. What can I do for you?
A bottle of chloroform, please.
Well, that's a handsome cat you've got there, miss. It's a shame you're putting him out of the way.
It has to be done. He has a stomach infection, quite incurable.
Well, those things will happen. Here you are, miss. That will be 38 cents plus tax.
Put the chloroform in your purse now, Emma. Hurry along now. Here we are. Green Street, around the corner. There is the house. Over there. He is sleeping there now. The man you're going to kill.
Who's that?
I'm looking for Senor Lubos. I've brought his cat home. I live next door to the cafe and...
All right. He's the first door at the top of the landing. And don't make no more noise on the stairs than you can help.
You see, Em, how simple it is. That's right, up the stairs. Wait now. Before you open the door, the bottle of chloroform. Get it ready. That's it. Now... put the cat down. Gently. He won't make any more noise now. He's home with his master. Yes, he's asleep. Fast asleep. Quickly now. The chloroform. Over his face, quickly. Push it down hard. He's waking up. Pour more chloroform on the coffin. He's waking up.
Who's that?
The knife. There's the knife on the table there. Grab it before you know. The knife, Em. The knife. Kill him.
No, don't do it. Please. Don't do it, I tell you.
He's dead. Dead. I've killed a man. I've killed a man.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on and help her. I'll be close by, swinging on my squeaky door. You know, I just love to swing on that door. It makes such a nice sound. Listen. Why do I like the sound? Because it reminds me of painful, scratchy razor burn.
Men, when you torture your face with razor burn, don't just blame your razor blade. Instead, try Palmolive Brushless. That smooth, easy to spread, won't clog your razor shave cream. You see, Palmolive Brushless is made with real olive oil to literally lubricate your skin so your razor just glides along with no tugging, no scratching, no scraping. Yes, mister, even the toughest beards lie down and wilt when you use Palmolive Brushless. And your face is cool, comfortable, younger looking, not a bit drawn or dry. So why don't you quit bothering with a shaving brush and try Palmolive Brushless? You buy Palmolive Brushless in the big money-saving Victory jar, and we'll guarantee you the cleanest, most comfortable shave of your life. And we know you'll sing goodbye forever to painful
razor burn. All right, friends, let's get back to that song that murders them. Remember how it goes? Remember how it haunted Anne into committing murder for Henrique? Well, it's still haunting her. And she's telling David about it in that room where death and its melody hover near.
Yes, I was a murderer. I had plunged a knife into a man's throat and stood there watching while he died in agony. Then went calmly home. You were waiting outside my door, David.
Anne, where have you been?
But
Anne, your dress and your gloves.
Why, David, it looks like...
It looks like blood, Anne. And it is blood.
But I don't... Where did it come from?
You mean you don't
Oh,
know?
maybe it was on the seat of the taxi. Maybe somebody cut themselves in there before I... Maybe the driver had carried an accident case to the hospital. But why should you follow me into my flat in the middle of the night and question me like this? What right have you?
Maybe you've forgotten that this was our wedding day. I waited at City Hall until I was thrown out.
Our wedding day. Oh, David.
What happened, Anne?
Well, I don't remember exactly.
Don't remember?
You know, that tune has been running through my head. This morning it got suddenly worse. I was desperate about it. I thought maybe if I went back to Henrique and heard it played again, I might be able to get it out of my mind.
Well, what happened? Yes? What is it, Anne?
Music. That melody. Don't you hear it?
I don't hear anything. Lubos was murdered a little while ago. A woman wearing a navy blue suit and white gloves went up to his room on the pretext of taking his cat to him. She tried to chloroform him, and failing that, she stabbed him in the throat with his own knife.
No, I couldn't have done a thing like that, David. There it is again. Can't you hear it?
Anne, there's nothing to hear. It's just in your mind. I don't know what happened tonight, and I don't want to know. But one thing is certain. This man has you under a hypnotic spell. We've got to fight this thing somehow. This music you hear.
Be quiet, David. He's trying to tell me something.
Trying to trap you, Anne. He's going to make you remember that you killed Lubos. You'd better kill him too, Anne. Before it's too late.
Oh, no. Not even for the music. Not even the music can make me do that, Henri.
Anne, what are you saying, Anne?
Oh, it's all right. It's gone away now. It was trying to get me to kill you, David.
Oh, Anne, darling, what has he done to you?
David, it's the music.
Then why did you say Henrique just now when you were talking to the music?
I don't know. It's the music that talks. But it's always Henrique's voice, and...
Did Henrique's voice tell you to kill Lubos?
Yes. I remember now, David. Yes, even buying the chloroform. But I don't feel guilty.
You aren't guilty. Now, look, do as I tell you, Anne. Take off these clothes and burn them. I'm going to lock you in here. If you hear the music again, fight it. Fight it with all your strength. I'll be back here in an hour. And when you see me come in that door, you'll know that music of yours has been silent forever.
Where are you going, David?
To kill Henrique.
So you have come to kill me because I've put hypnotic spells on your beloved. Excuse me, what a joke, senor.
No joke, Henrique. A man was murdered a while ago by you.
I thought it was proven that Lubos was murdered by a woman. Besides, I was playing my violin in the cafe at the time of the murder.
While Anne, under your hypnotic spell, was doing your dirty work.
Nonsense. He was stabbed in the throat with a knife belonging to Manuela Rosales, a gypsy woman with whom he had quarrels. Do not worry, my friend. I've composed a new melody. Would you care to hear it, senor?
Go ahead, Henrique. I'm listening.
You must look at me while I play. Look at my eyes. It makes me play better.
Well, what's the idea? What do you want me to do?
Kill her. Kill your fiancée.
Stop it! Stop it! So, I am under the spell of your music, all right? I'll choke the music out of your soul. Help me, I will.
You are making a terrible mistake. A terrible...
Where is your music now, Henrique?
And now that Henrique is dead, we can go back to what we were before. We can be married. That's what you're trying to say to me, isn't it, David?
Why not, Anne? Why not?
Because when you opened the door and came back into this room a few moments ago, the music was still playing.
It's not playing now, is it, Anne? Is it?
No, not now. Oh, David, take me in your arms, darling. Tell me it's all right. Tell me again so I'll really believe it.
Oh, Anne.
It was just a bad dream, wasn't it, David? They never really existed, did they? Enrique and Lubos and the cat with the yellow eyes.
Of course not, darling. Of course it was just a dream.
David!
All right, darling. I see it too. It's a black cat. Must have followed me home. You see, it's really quite friendly. Go ahead, darling. Tell him.
All right, David.
There, that's it. You see, it's just an ordinary cat.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Take the letter opener, Anne. The letter opener on the desk. Go and get it.
Yes, of course.
And you're not hearing it again, are you? Anne, is that the music again?
Oh, no, David. It's just I've been crying so much, I think I'd better fix my makeup. Be a darling and bring my purse, will you? It's in the bedroom in the top drawer of the bureau.
Sure. Back in a sec.
Now, Anne. Now take the letter opener and follow him. That's it. Quietly now. He mustn't hear you coming. His back is turned. He's still rummaging in the bureau drawer. The poor fool. Quietly. Now, Anne, now.
Anne, put that knife away.
No, David, it's no use. I can't fight it any longer. I must kill you.
Anne, don't Anne.
Oh, David.
Anne, darling, speak to me. I didn't mean to do it. I tried to grab your arm, that's all. The point of the letter open, it turned and...
It's all right, David.
I'll give the doctor.
Oh, no, David. Please don't leave me. It's better this way. If I lived, I'd have to kill you. The music would make me do it. And there might be others. Yes, David, it's better this way.
Oh, Anne. Anne.
It was the music, David. The music. A melody more beautiful than life itself. Listen to it, David. Melody of death.
Oh, sister. Speaking of melodies, I want that little number for our concert we're giving in the lower chamber of Music Society of Bene Sanctum. As a matter of fact, I want Enrique to fiddle around. And I want... Oh, si, Senor Shaving Cream. What is it you want?
I want lots of lather. I want lots of lather. Okay, you men who use a brush when you shave, you want lots of lather. And you'll get lots of lather simply by using Palmolive Lather Shaving Cream. For an honest whisker wilter, millions of men say there's nothing like it. In fact, more men use Palmolive Lather than any other kind. Here's why. First, Palmolive Lather Shaving Cream gives lots and lots of lather. He-Man lather with millions of moist bubbles to blitz your beard. Second, Palmolive Lather is made with olive oil and oil from the coconut palm to lubricate your razor, speed your shave, smooth your skin. So, if you're a lather and brush user and want to get rid of razor burn, get Palmolive Lather for the smoothest, easiest shave you ever whistled your way through. Get Palmolive Lather Shaving Cream, knowing it's going to leave your face looking younger, your skin smoother, your disposition better, or your money back.
Friends, what would you do if you found out that someone you knew was peddling stolen merchandise? You'd be horrified. But tell me something. Have you ever bought extra gasoline coupons or accepted them from friends? Have you ever bought gasoline without giving up coupons? Ah, well, you know what I'm thinking. That makes you a receiver of stolen merchandise, and that is a serious offense.
Yes, friends, every precious drop of gasoline we can spare is needed for our armed forces.
people who buy gasoline without surrendering their own coupons are getting more than their fair share of the fixed civilian supply. So play square with gasoline rationing. Use only the coupons issued to you legally.
So, friends, by the way, the latest in a Sanctum mystery novel is The Moon Was Red by Dana Sage. Oh, now look here. Here's a calling card and a confirmed appointment for next week's Inner Sanctum Mystery. That dapper demon of deviltry right from Hollywood, Adolphe Manjou, to suavely and smoothly scare us right out of our Inner Sanctum. And now it's time to close the squeaking door until next Saturday, when Palmolive Brushless and Palmolive Lather Shaving Creams bring you another Inner Sanctum Mystery. Until then, good night. Pleasant dreams.
What is the 14-day Palmolive plan? Yes, what is the 14-day Palmolive plan?
It's the biggest beauty news in years. Doctors tested this plan, proved it brought lovelier complexions to 2 out of 3 of all the women tested. Here it is.
Wash your face with Palmolive soap. Then massage for a full 60 seconds with Palmolive's beautifying lather. Then rinse. Do this 3 times a day.
Easy to do, yet 36 doctors prove this Palmolive plan brings a lovelier complexion to 2 out of 3 women. No matter what type of skin you have, dry or oily, the 14-day Palmolive plan works. So get Palmolive. See what Palmolive can do for your skin in only 14 days. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents Quiet Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and which features Ernest Chappell. Quiet Please for tonight is called As Long as I Live.
You ever know a medium? I mean, that produces ghosts and spirit voices, does table rapping and stuff. Yeah, I was married to one. Sure, it's phony. Most of them are phonies. Some of them ain't. Some of them are legit. I hear. You got a minute? Let me tell you, huh? Me? No, I'm not going any place for a while. Time I got lots of. You go for this stuff? You don't, huh? Don't believe in it? Yeah, that's what they all say. Never had your fortune told, huh? Never had your hand read, the palmistry, at a carnival, amusement park, anything like that? I thought so. Sure, everybody's made one pass at least at supernatural stuff, occult. Sure, even when you read the fortune on the card that comes out of the penny weighing machine, you're on the edges of it. Human nature, that's all. Human nature. And it pays off right well when you're in the business. I know. Listen, it's good money, the psychic business, but stay out of it. It's not all phony. Yes, Georgie was here. But Georgie ain't. Georgie. My wife, the medium. We had this old house in Chicago out on the west side, Georgie and me and Uncle Large. I never knew a good deal about Uncle Large, except he was born in 1845, which would make him 97 years old. He was my father's great uncle. He was a kind of recluse when I was a kid. Tall, skinny old Swede, lived all alone in a little brown painted house on Margaret Street. Never went out without a shawl around his head. But he always kind of liked me, even when I was a little bitty kid. Had my first drink at Uncle Lar's house, Swedish punch. Man. And drug at Christmas time, hot and full of raisins and nuts and spices. Quite a thing, drug, especially for a 10-year-old brat. Well, Georgie and I had quite a discussion about Uncle Lars when he got the letter saying he was coming to live with us.
Well, you're going to have to look after him, Jim. They're not picking up after you, let alone an old man that probably hasn't got all his buttons.
No, he's got good sense. He's only 97. He comes from Dalina, where they live to be 1,000,000 years old and dry up and blow away.
You got any money?
Yeah, must have.
Couldn't he go to an old folks' home or something?
And leaves the dough to the old folks, you crazy?
Wonder how much he's got it. Oh, damn it, I'm sorry. That was a terrible thing to say. Poor old guy all alone.
Sure. He was nice to me when I was a kid. And he won't cost much to keep.
He says he'll pay his keep.
Oh? That's just like him. You like him, Georgie.
Ever been married or anything?
Well, there's a kind of mystery, you know.
No?
There was a cousin Flora. I don't know who she was, but there was some kind of story about this cousin Flora back in Sweden. She came over to this country. They were going to be married, but she died in the Chicago fire in 1871.
And he kept house all by himself all those years.
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe he's forgotten her, though. Long time ago, I guess.
No, he hasn't forgotten her. I don't think he has. I remember when I was a kid, he used to have a big carved Swedish chest.
A hope chest, I guess.
I guess so. It was all full of old-fashioned clothes. I got into it one afternoon at his house while he was asleep. Funny clothes. I remember a purple velvet dress.
Was she pretty?
I don't know. Never saw any pictures of it.
Didn't you ever ask him about it?
Nobody ever mentioned her to him. I remember my dad said something about her once. The old man ordered him right out of the house. Poor old guy.
Well, we'll make his last years comfortable, Jim.
That's my baby. You're a good kid, Georgie.
The mists are clearing now, and the ray of moonlight, is it moonlight, falls between the tall trees. And I see a face. It is a little girl, a golden-haired little girl, and the gown is shining silver. Her arms are outstretched. She is seeking someone. She stops. She wants to tell me her name. Her name. Wait. She says her name is Rosalind.
Rosalind, for God's sake, Georgie.
Oh, that's right. I forget it all the time. Darn it. Rosalind. Rosalind.
Okay, don't forget it. If old lady Watson hears you calling her darling baby out of her name, it'll screw up everything. And she's worth go, Kitty.
I know. I'll remember. Where's Uncle Lars?
In the hammock out in the backyard.
I don't think he likes me very much, Jim.
You're crazy. He thinks you're swell. Well, he don't talk much to anybody, not even me.
That's like he's scared of me.
What are you talking about?
I'm not kidding. You ever see anybody put their hand like this?
No.
I have. Tell you what it is.
Well?
That's what people in the old country call horns of the devil. Corni di Diablo, old man Garbacho used to say down on Taylor Street when I was a kid.
For what?
Well, you see, you hold your 2 middle fingers with your thumb, stick your first finger and your little finger out like horns, see? And you point at people.
Well, what for?
To charm against the evil eye.
What are you talking about?
That's Uncle Lars when he's with me. He holds his hand like that all the time.
You think you got the evil eye?
He sure does, honey. Funny part of it is, baby, maybe I have.
You're screwy.
You know, fooling around with all this psychic stuff like I have, every once in a while you begin to wonder about things.
Like what?
I don't know, James. I mean, things.
Well, like what things, sweetie?
James, listen. When he makes the Corni di Diablo at me, I get the most awful pains around my heart.
My darling. Honey, you stop. You stop that, you hear? You're letting this stuff get to you. You can't do that. You're just being silly.
I know. I know, James. It's silly, all right, but... you know, if you fool around with this stuff, you begin to wonder if maybe you really are psychic.
You said that. You're nuts.
I know, but...
Oh, Georgie, what's the matter?
My heart. What's the matter, James? Is your wife sick all of a sudden?
And I looked up, startled, as the old man spoke from the doorway. Uncle Lars stepped forward, his hand outstretched to help me support Georgie. The fingers of his right hand were still clenched into the horns of the devil, into the charm against the evil eye. And then he opened his hands, and Georgie straightened up in my arms and drew a long breath and smiled at me. But I looked into her face, and there wasn't any smile in her eyes.
I'm all right. I'm all right, James. Tell Uncle Lars I'm all right.
And I looked deep into her unsmiling eyes, and I felt my own right hand twitch, and I looked down at it. My forefinger and little finger had formed the shape of the charm against the evil eye.
I lay awake a long time that night. Georgie, as long as we've been married, has always insisted on sleeping with a light on in the room. And, well, after all these years, I've gotten used to it, too. But she had a most disconcerting, is that the word? Disconcerting way of sleeping. A way that used to bother me at first when I woke up in the night and turned my head to hers on the pillow beside me. Well, she slept with her eyes open. No, don't be silly. Not wide open, but not quite closed. Georgie was a very good-looking woman, mind you, but asleep, with her eyelids not quite meeting and just a little of the pupils showing. She seemed to be staring. Or like... Oh, I don't want to tell you what it looks like if you've never seen it. Oh, yes, she'd be sound asleep, sure. We used to laugh about it. So I got used to it. She said lots of people sleep that way. I don't know. I got so it didn't bother me anymore, like I said, but... Well, this time... I'd shut my eyes, and I'd have to open them again. And there'd be that glitter between her eyelids and the light of the lamp. Like... I don't know why I did it. It sounds foolish, but... Well, I made the corne di Diablo at her. And she stopped breathing. And I thought I'd never get my fingers apart. They were cramped, stiff, unwilling. But in a couple of seconds, I guess, I managed to pry them apart. And Georgie started breathing again, and she smiled and turned her face away from me. And for a long time, I lay there listening to her soft, even breathing beside me and saying over and over to myself, Georgie, I love you. And believe me, I did love her. But a thought came crawling in from the back of my mind, and it took hold of my brain. The first thing I knew, I was in those dreadful minutes between being awake and falling asleep, and I thought, Georgie, I love you. And I can kill you whenever I want to. And at last I fell asleep. And I dreamed about a woman in an old-fashioned purple velvet dress. A woman who laughed in a strange way. And I could never see her face. Only the purple velvet dress. And then the morning came, and it seemed all confused in my mind. And Georgie was cheerful and happy in the kitchen as we ate breakfast together. And I guess I held her hand thinking... There's a lot of nonsense, a lot of bad dreams, a lot of nightmares. Everything's all right, of course. And it was really quite pleasant, just the two of us. And it was that way for a week, maybe. We did a seance for Mrs. Watson, and Georgie remembered to call the little girl Rosalind, and old Mrs., I forget her name, cried in the dark, asked questions about how Rosalind was doing in the great beyond. And Georgie made her happy with her answers, and we made $75 out of that. She bought a new hat that was just a hat brim with flowers on it, not at all the kind of hat you'd expect a spirit medium to wear. So it went on, as I said. We hardly ever saw Uncle Lars. He used to get up and make his own coffee first thing in the morning, long before we woke up. Then he'd go sit in the backyard, smoke cigars, and rest. So this one morning, we're sitting there, looking at the papers and being quietly happy. When Georgie got up to pour another cup of coffee, she stopped at the back door and looked out.
Jen, where's Uncle Lars?
In the hammock, isn't he?
I don't see him.
He's probably putting around with the flowers.
No, not in the garden. I don't see him. Uncle Lars!
The heck, maybe he's still asleep.
He's always up so early.
Well, let him sleep. He's an old man.
I better see. I don't know. You know, he might... Something might be... I better see if he...
Yeah. Right, he's asleep. Don't wake him.
Jen?
You all right?
Jen, come here.
Well, what's the matter?
Come here, quick.
What's the matter?
Something's the matter with him.
Uncle Lars. He's had a stroke, that's what it is.
He was all right, Jen, when I came in the room. He was breathing just like a baby, and then when I came over and looked at him, he was just kind of gasped, and that awful look came on his face. Jen, what's the matter with you?
You looked at him. All right, he was 97 years old. He was entitled to a stroke. How do I know she did it? How do I know anything? How do I know when I pointed my finger at her that night she stopped breathing? Well, all I can do is tell you what happened. No, he wasn't dead. We took him to the hospital, and he was there a long time. The doctors told me it was perfectly natural. A stroke. He'd be all right for a while, they said, then he'd have another, and that'd be that. So I said to myself, sure, it's natural. There's nothing magic or nothing, evil about this thing. Georgie couldn't be to blame. And even if she was, which I said to myself is silly, she couldn't help it. She didn't mean anything. She liked the old man. All right. You remember that woman in the purple dress I dreamed about, the purple velvet dress? The one in Flora's Hope chest? Mm-hmm. Georgie, I said one day. Georgie, the funniest thing, I've been dreaming about that purple velvet dress I told you about. You remember?
In the chest?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, it's heavy, all right.
Funny about him and that girl that died.
Yeah.
He must have been awful in love with her.
Yeah.
Dreams are funny, Jim.
How do you mean?
Well, no, they mean different things. I wonder. Maybe you dreaming about her?
I didn't say I dreamed about her. I said the dress.
Well, maybe that's a symbol. Maybe that means... Maybe he's going to die. Maybe she's telling us that. Maybe there's something in the chest we ought to know
Let's
about.
not monkey with the chest.
She might be trying to tell us something.
Oh, stop, George.
No, James, I don't know. Well, there's a lot of things we don't understand.
And then I got mad and I said, oh, for Pete's sake, let's get out of this stupid business. It's making us all nutty. Georgie said it wasn't stupid, and so we got into a fight. I got up and put on my hat and walked out of the house. And when I came home that night, I walked into the bedroom, and there was a woman in a purple velvet dress lying on Georgie's bed. And when I saw it was Georgie, a wave of rage just swept over me like a hot flood, and I slapped her, and she woke up and flew at me. What was wrong with us? She hit me, and I think I tried to choke her. We yelled at each other like a pair of wildcats. She scratched my face. I yanked her hair down. She struck at me again, and then I don't know how I did it. Something seemed to be pulling at my hand. Georgie screamed again and fell down on the floor. I looked at my hand where it hurt. My two fingers were outstretched in the shape of the devil's horn. And I picked her up and put her on the bed. Took the purple velvet dress off her. And as it slipped over her head, she opened her eyes and she smiled at me. And I just flopped down alongside the bed, put my arms around her, and cried like a baby. And then a few nights later, we brought Uncle Lars home from the hospital. I put him to bed. Georgie went out in the kitchen to make coffee. She knew Uncle Lars was nervous with her around. Georgie was a good kid, like I told you. So I sat on the edge of the bed and felt sorry for the old man.
Jens.
Yes, Uncle Lars? You feel all right?
The purple dress.
What?
The purple dress.
Well, what about it?
Your wife put it on.
Why?
I know. Laura told me.
Uncle Lars.
You must not put it on, Jens.
Oh, I'm sorry, Uncle Lars. She didn't mean anything. You know that.
She has the evil eye. Your wife.
Oh, Uncle Lars, now let's not.
You know she has, don't you?
Well, No, I don't know it.
Then, beware of an evil woman.
Well, George, she's not.
I speak of Flora.
Why, I thought you... I mean, you...
I am close to dying now, Saint. I tell you something.
Well? Flora. I love Flora Bunn.
Of course.
She died in the fire.
I know.
I killed her. And
why? Why did you?
I locked her in the house and I let the fire burn her.
Uncle Lars.
Be still. Flora was an evil woman. I loved her and she... Let us not speak of that. Let us not speak of how I found out. Let's just say that there was another man. And she laughed at me and called me a dumb fool. And then there was the fire. I had bought her the new purple dress and I came home and...
Uncle Lars, do you want to tell me all this?
I have told you. She hated me, James. She has hated me so long. And beware of an evil woman.
James?
Oh, she called you. Take care.
James, come here, dear.
I'll be right back, Uncle Lars.
Don't tell her.
Of course not. I'll be right back.
James?
What do you want, Georgie?
Come here, please.
Shall I close the door?
Please.
Where are you, Georgie? Well, what have you got the light off for? Georgie, where are you?
Be still, James.
What are you doing?
Be still, I'm trying something.
Well, turn on the light. Well, listen, What are you...
I'm doing something for Uncle Lars. He's afraid of me and he doesn't like me and I want to...
What are you up to?
I'm going to bring Flora back to him.
George.
Be still. I found out I can do it. I told you there were things we didn't understand. I tried it and it's easy. Poor old man. I'm going to let him see the girl he was in love with.
Stop, Georgie.
I can't stop now. Be still, James.
Georgie, you don't know what you're doing. Stop.
Flora! Flora!
What are you... Stop it.
Flora! Flora!
Georgie, I tell you, she... And something choked off my voice. I tried, but I couldn't say another word. Over in the corner, I could see a little pale, purplish light. I could hear Georgie moaning. And I couldn't move hand or foot. It was like something holding me by the arms. I heard Uncle Lars call to me.
Then, what are you doing?
And Uncle Lars' door opened slowly.
Lars, I did. Come back.
Flora!
And I felt something release my arms then, and I reached for the light switch, and suddenly the room was bright again. Georgie was huddled in a chair across the room, her eyelids nearly closed, and the bare light glittered between them, and she was breathing heavily. But at the open door beside me there stood a tall woman in a purple velvet dress, and I heard her laugh, and she turned to look at me, and she had no face. She raised her arm toward me. I felt my own right arm lifting and my fingers squirming into the shape of the Corne di Diablo, into the charm against my wife who had only tried to be charitable to an old man and who had brought his death upon him. And so I brought my wife's death upon her, too, in that old house. Georgie struggled to her feet, took 2 steps toward my outstretched fingers and said, "Thanks, darling," very clearly, and fell. And I felt something soft clinging against me. I dropped my eyes, and there was the purple dress, slowly sinking empty to the floor at my feet. And there was the sound of soft, distant laughter in my ears. And so, I'm here. And tonight they'll take me out, and I won't be coming back. How could I explain 2 dead people with the marks of horrible, violent death on their faces? Alone in an old house with a man who was sitting on the floor, gibbering, and carefully, oh, so carefully ripping an old-fashioned purple velvet dress into shreds.
Your Quiet Please story tonight was called As Long as I Live. It was written and directed by Willis Cooper. The man who spoke to you was Ernest Chaplin.
And Alice Reinhardt played Georgie, Uncle Lars was Bruno Wick, and Lotta Stavitsky was Flora. As usual, music for Quiet Please is played by Albert Berman. Now, about next week, here is Willis Cooper.
All the characters in tonight's story were, as usual, figments of my own imagination. They have no relation to anybody living, dead, or undead. Next week, our story will be The Man Who Stole a Planetary.
And so, until next week at the same time, I am quietly yours, Ernest Chappell.
Quiet Please comes to you from New York and is heard in Canada through the facilities of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment. For this is a time of mystery. A time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the haunting hour. Assignment Death. I'm Dick Ryan. Maybe you've read some of my stories in a certain national picture magazine. Well, here's a scoop that never got in. One editor and 2 vice presidents fainted at the thought. Like I told my boss, horror doesn't always come wrapped up in a haunted house with the wind howling outside. Sometimes it walks along behind you, breathes down your neck, and whispers something about a slug of lead in your back. And the few gray hairs that staff photographer Ellen Maitland and I got out of it didn't come from lack of vitamins. It was late afternoon when Ellen and another photographer, Larry Nelson, came into my office. I remember that I was busy at the time.
Dick, will you please stop typing and listen to me?
Another time, Ellen. I've got to get the story out.
Dick, you've got to help me get a picture of Mike Velvetto, the gangster.
Are you crazy? Is she kidding me, Larry?
Well, it's this way, Dick. Boss wants to feature the story and what's happened to all the old public enemies. He's got photos of every last one of them except Velvet.
Can't you see what a feather would be in my cap, Dick?
There isn't a newspaper Morgantown has anything on him.
Of course not, Larry. Pictures of Velvet don't land in the morgue. It's the people who take them. This baby is no retired gangster.
See, Ellen? Told you Dick was a friend of his.
No, not exactly. I dug up some stuff in one of his rackets and handed it over to the DA's office.
But Larry said Mike Velvetto likes you. How come?
Well, he wriggled out of the charges easy enough. He thought it was a big joke and told everybody he admired my spirit.
And he called Dick to his headquarters and offered him a job as one of his boys.
That's the funniest thing I ever heard. What a strange man.
You can't help liking him, Velvet. That's the danger. But he's poison just the same.
Well, Dick, I'm going to get his picture whether you help me or not.
Well, if that's the way you feel, Ellen, I guess I'll have to go along. You'll do it my way?
Of course. Oh, I knew you'd help me, Dick. You're wonderful.
Wait and see. If we leave now, we'll be there just after dark. Get the camera, Ellen, and don't bring something too conspicuous.
I won't. We'll go just as soon as I come back, huh?
I'm coming along, Dick. Do you think this is dangerous?
There's one way it might be done, Larry. You'll have to help me with my plan. It'll be dangerous enough if we succeed. If we fail, it'll be just plain murder. Up your coats, boys and girls. This is it.
This old garage, Dick? Mike Valvetto can't be very successful.
You're going to get the surprise of your life. In through this door. Get ahead.
I don't like the way those mechanics look at us, Dick.
Ain't no mind, pal. It's the camera Ellen's carrying that's got him stumped. You know, Velvet lives in the penthouse on top of this building, but he has his office back there.
Would you look at that character lounging by the door?
Well, oh, well, have I seen that tight-fitting coat, that pulled-down hat?
That is Rosie. If you think that bulge in his pocket is a harmonica, think again.
I don't like this place.
You just take your picture and keep your temper, baby. Hi, Rosie. Velvet in? It's all right, kid. Relax.
Thanks, loudmouth. I'm a nervous type. That a camera?
Guessed it the first time, Rosie. Tell Velvet Dick Ryan's here with a couple of friends.
Why not? Tell a dame them things smash easy.
He warned Velvet by pushing that buzzer. The door opens electrically.
I don't think I like Rosie.
I don't think Rosie likes you. Keep thick, Ellen. Be polite and keep your temper.
You two must think I'm red-headed. I'm sorry. That's the second time.
The chief says okay. Let the dame come first.
Go ahead, Ellen. I think Rosie wants to frisk us. We're clean as a whistle.
Please, Rosie. Those are my friends.
I'm sorry, kid. You can frisk us some other time. Hello there, Velvet.
Delighted to see you again, Dick, my friend.
I'd like you to meet a couple of colleagues, Ellen Maitland and Larry Nelson.
How do you do?
We were going by. We thought we'd drop in.
But of course. Perhaps a little drink of something?
No, thanks.
No? I see you like my office, Miss Mason.
Why, I'm speechless, Mr. Valvetto. It's beautiful. I never dreamed.
That's such a rough exterior. I know. Deception is my business.
Oh, but these pictures, they're the real thing, not reproductions. Look, Larry.
Yes, I noticed the minute I came in. Mr. Valvetto must be something of a collector. In a modest way. I see you've noticed that daub in back of my desk, Mr. Nelson. Hideous, isn't it? A fine example of non-objective art. Well, personally, I don't go for lines, planes, colors all thrown together without any meaning. But that picture has a special meaning for my associates. You see, Mr. Nelson, it fronts a wall safe, which very often contains large sums of money. That they appreciate. But I thought of myself while Miss Maitland is anxious to take my picture.
Oh, well, you guessed it, Velvet. I know how you feel, but she insisted. And then your reputation for never refusing a beautiful woman.
How well you know me, Dick. Well, I shall sit here behind my desk and look like a successful merchant. Please, Rosie. We should have explained to him that Miss Maitland was reaching in her pocket for a flashbulb.
Oh, I had forgotten that Rosie was still with us.
That is one of his virtues. So unobtrusive.
The nervous type is always dangerous, though, don't you think, Velvet? I'll just sit here out of the way until Ellen's set.
I see our charming friend is ready. Well, I shall continue to talk so that we shall have a more informal study.
Okay.
Well, over so soon?
I'm sorry if the flashbulb blinded you. One shot Ellen, they call me.
A lovely camera. May I see it?
That is, well, you see, Mr. Galvetto, I don't...
Let him, sister.
Don't be afraid, Ellen. Velvet hates violence.
You're afraid I'll smash your camera?
What?
No, nothing of the sort. I'm curious to see if it came out well. We'll open the bag.
Oh, please. Oh, now you've ruined the negative.
Oh, you mean the light? Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry, Miss Maitland. I simply don't have any understanding of these things. If I've spoiled it, I must pay you.
But you did it on purpose. You let me take it and then...
Temper, baby.
I don't blame her in the least. Here, Miss Maitland, I must pay. I insist.
Oh, no, thank you.
You might as well take it, Ellen. You'll hurt his feelings. Well, we'll be running along. Nice to see you, Velvet.
Goodbye.
I'll see you, Ma, Chief. No hard feelings, I hope. You must drop in again. I'll not be so clumsy next time you take my picture, Miss Mason.
Yes, I bet he won't. Well, thank you, Rosie. Give my love to the wife and kids.
Velvet soft, Ryan. I ain't. Keep your nose clean, loudmouth.
Excellent advice, Rosie. You needn't see us to the street. Come on, Ellen.
I'm looking forward to that street, am I saying? How about you, Ellen?
I'm furious with the both of you. I'll never speak to either of you again, letting me make a fool of myself like that.
Good
What, Ellen? You didn't actually think you'd let you shoot him without a squawk.
Now, hold that until we get out. Okay, ladies before gents. Did you get it, Larry?
And it passed off when Rosie started to frisk you. You found that candid camera under my coat?
You mean you had a midget concealed that
Of course, Ellen, of course. How else? I watched you, synchronized it with your flash. You held his attention. I got the picture.
Well, just because we came back to the office doesn't mean you have to work, Dick Ryan.
Now, there's nothing we can do until Larry gets that developed and tries an enlargement.
He's had enough time. He could come back here with us.
Now, look, Ellen, his apartment darkroom is the safest place for that negative. This has got to be a secret for a while, remember?
Well, that's all right with me. And I'm still mad, Dick. Why in the world didn't he tell me?
Because it wouldn't have been as convincing. No act in the world could have had that ring of sincerity, Ellen. Wow, talk about registering disappointment and rage.
Let's change the subject. What if you didn't fool him?
Then the three of us had better pack our... Oh, good. Now, let's see Larry now. Hello.
Hi, Dick. Tell Ellen she's got a picture. Couldn't have been better.
Good and clear? What about enlarging?
Every detail. Just what I wanted. I'm going back to my dark room now and really blow it up. You'll want to come up. Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Thought I heard someone come in. But... No! Don't, please!
Larry, all right?
Is there something wrong?
Yeah. Come on, we've got to get to Larry quick. It's backfired, Ellen. We didn't fool anybody but ourselves.
Look, Ryan, I'm only a copper, not a mind reader. If Elvis behind this, like you say, you've seen the last of his friends.
There's no question who did it, Lieutenant, but if Larry's still alive, we've got to get to him.
If he was alive when he went out of here, he ain't now. I know that, Mob. We'll probably find him at the bottom of the river in a few days.
You got here before we did. Wasn't there any...
You saw everything we did. One bloody print on the floor near the phone. From what you say, this gorilla probably sliced him with his gun butt and then went after that picture.
And Larry came too, and... You suppose they took him to question him?
Why not? You say the three of you were in on it. Only it was a revolver shot that made the neighbors call us. Sounds like curtains to me.
I didn't hear any shot over the phone.
Because that punk pulled the wires out. Here comes your young lady.
Dick, it's awful. It looks as though a cyclone hit Larry's dark room.
Yeah, I know. Rosie sure messed it up. No sign of the picture, of course.
No. Dick, if you don't mind, I'd rather not stay here any longer.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Let's go. Thanks for letting us look around, Lieutenant. We'll be at the office tomorrow if you want it.
Well, if I got your story straight, it might be smart for you and the young lady to kind of keep out of sight for a while.
Yes, you can depend on that. I know how Rosie works.
We'll pull him in. Give him a going over. Of course, the story isn't exactly proof, but it might give Velvet ideas.
Such as shutting us up.
Oh.
Well, pleasant dreams, Lieutenant. Come on, Ellen.
Oh, Dick, I feel sick. About Larry, I mean.
Yeah, me too. Let's walk down. It's only one flight.
All right.
You know, they could have carried Larry down the fire escape and back.
Dick, do you really think he's still alive?
I wish to heaven I... Oh, for Pete's sake, why kid myself? No, I don't.
You think you're in terrible danger, don't you?
Now, don't let the lieutenant scare you, baby. If Velvet's got the negative back now, I don't...
But we were in on it just as much as Larry.
That doesn't seem fair. He should take the rap, does it?
Certainly doesn't.
Well, let's grab a cab. I'll take you home. There's one right there at the corner. Back into the hall, Ellen, quick. That's back against the wall. It was that cab. The shot came from that cab.
What can you do?
We're all right now, Ellen. We're all right now.
We're being hunted, Dick. But after what about tomorrow?
Just keep your fingers crossed and pray the guy was wrong who said tomorrow never comes.
Hello, this is Marvin Miller with another page from your American Heritage Scrapbook. Sell the cook stove if necessary and come to Chicago. You must see this fair. A pretty compelling message, isn't it? Well, that's what one of the 27 million visitors to Chicago's Columbian Exposition of 1893 wrote to his parents. The exposition was described as a dream in plaster. The dream was born in 1891 when 15 of America's foremost architects, sculptors, painters, and landscape planners met in Chicago to design a world's exposition commemorating the 400th anniversary of Columbus's discovery of a new world. It took a near miracle to transform the 650 acres of lakefront property into landscape parks and islands with lagoons to mirror the 14 white plaster exposition palaces. But it was done. The World's Columbian Exposition was dedicated on October 12, 1892, but construction delays kept the general public away until May 1, 1893. President Grover Cleveland was there for the official opening. For 6 months, 150,000 visitors a day were treated to the marvels of the fair. They came from all over the world to see the many wonders, such as a 12-foot statue made of pure silver from the mining state of Montana, California's exhibit of a mounted knight in full armor made entirely of prunes, the Pillar of Light in the Palace of Electricity, which gave many their first view of Thomas Edison's incandescent miracle, a 264-foot wheel designed by George Washington Gale Ferris, from which 60 persons riding in the wheel's 36 big cars could look down on the exposition's midway and see the exhibits of the 77 countries represented, the minarets of Persia, the camels of Egypt, the pagodas of Japan. This was the Columbian Exposition, a miniature world built on the shores of Lake Michigan.
Dick Ryan back again, sadder and wiser, and no wonder. I'd helped Ellen Maitland get her picture of Mike Rovetto, the gangster, all right. We let Ellen go through the motions while Larry Nelson actually did the job with a candid camera hidden under his coat. He called us later from his apartment to tell us it was a perfect shot. And a moment later, I heard the fear in his voice as Rosie slugged him. One look at his wrecked darkroom and the spot of blood near his telephone, and we didn't need the police to tell us the negative was gone and Larry would probably be found in the river the next day. And it didn't take pot shots from a passing taxi to let us know Ellen and I were next on Velvet's list. You have to live the nightmare of being on the wrong end of a manhunt to feel the horror of it. You don't feel like going home to bed. You get a craving for light, bright light, and for people. Lots of people. That's why Ellen and I picked a well-lighted eating joint for a snack before I took her home.
Let's sit at the counter, Dick, near the door.
Okay. Let's take a peek at the menu.
Oh.
What's the matter with you, Ellen?
Look in that mirror. The reflection of that man back there. He's one of those men from Velvet's garage.
Well, you're crazy, Ellen. He didn't follow you.
Well, let's get out of here, Dick. I'm scared.
All right. Straight for the door, and don't look back.
I don't have to. He got up when we did.
Never mind that. We'll lose him in the crowd. Come on.
Don't walk so fast, Dick. I can't keep up with you.
We may have imagined that man was following us, Ellen. At the same time, I don't like getting out of the crowd.
We turn left here, Dick.
Oh, you would live on one of these quiet side streets, way down the end, I suppose.
That's right. The end house on the other side of the street.
All right, come on. Let's cross. The light's with us.
Look out, Dick. There's a car coming right through that red light.
Don't stop, Ellen. Keep going. Come on, run. How do you like? He missed us by 2 feet.
Crazy drunken driver.
Drunk nothing. That car was parked at the intersection waiting for you to come home. Our pal Velvet sure means business.
Dick, I don't want to go home. I won't. Velvet knows where I live. The car waiting to run us over proves it. Maybe somebody's waiting in my apartment in the dark.
You've got to snap out of this, Ellen.
Well, let's try to get back to the office. We'll sit up the rest of the night. Please, Dick. I'll feel better when it's daylight.
That's what I thought, but daylight didn't help. In fact, we felt even more out in the open. That's the terror of being hunted. It grows like some clinging, choking weed.
We set out for breakfast, and neither of us left the editorial offices until I ducked out for a shave about noon. But when the barber lifted the razor and I got the shakes, I knew that was the breaking point.
I'm so glad you came back, Dick. I don't think I can stand this any longer. I jump when anyone speaks. I watch strangers.
You don't have to tell me, Ellen. I know. I decided to have it out with Velvet. I'd rather look down Rosie's automatic than sit around waiting for it.
What are we going to do?
I'm going to Velvet, lay my cards on the table, and try to talk him out of it.
Well, I'm going with you, and don't you try to stop me.
As far as the drugstore across from his place, Ellen. You wait there, keep in the open with people around you. If I don't show up in half an hour, then the police will really have something to work on.
But, my dear Dick, I already know your whole story. The police paid me a little visit this morning. In fact, Rosie here was just released.
And who sent you to coppers, Chief? This loudmouth. Give me 10 minutes with him, Velvet.
Now, Rosie, Mr. Ryan, is a friend of mine. Aren't you, Dick?
Now, look, Velvet, I was a fool to trick you, a slobbering idiot, I admit it. But I came here of my own free will.
Please, not so excited, my friend. I'd forgive you, except for the little matter of the police.
If Larry's still alive, Velvet, it's not too late. Maybe you can square yourself. But if you killed him...
Larry is still alive. You can depend on it.
Well, then, for heaven's sakes, call off your thugs and forget it ever happened.
Still, Dick, I do not like having this picture of me floating around.
What? You mean Larry got away with it? You haven't got him?
Listen, loudmouth, we ain't got nobody. Ungrammatic, but true.
Well, that makes it different. In that case, I'm telling you, Velvet, lay off me. Ellen Maitland is waiting for me nearby. If I'm not back, she'll buzz the cops again.
The nice young lady with the camera? Where is she?
You think I'm crazy enough to tell you?
I think you're crazy not to. But it doesn't matter. Since the police, one of my boys has been tailing you. You know.
If anything happens to that girl...
You're a bigger fool than I thought, Ryan. As my guest, you're perfectly safe. But to leave this girl outside...
I don't know why you're lying, Velvet. But don't tell me that you can't control your triggerman.
This man's a fool, Rosie. Let me have your gun. And find that stool pigeon who was here last night. You know the one I mean.
Sniffy? The little junkie?
Yeah, that one. I have a job for him.
Save some of the loudmouth for me, boss. Well, Velvet, I didn't know you went in for handling a rod.
I'll admit it is distasteful. But you're so stupid, Dick. Come, I must lock you up. A few hours thinking will do you good. Now it's my turn to play the tricks. I really sweated out that afternoon. Hours went by and no Ellen. For a minute, when I heard Larry had gotten away, I thought we had the upper hand. But by evening, I was sick to be tired. First, I heard the key in the lock. You, loudmouth. Come on. If anything's happened to Ellen, Rosie, I'll get you and Velvet if it's the last thing I do. I'm frightened. Why should we hurt the dame? You had a couple of good tries at it last night. Right, boy. Come on, get in the elevator. Elevator? You mean that... You've seen him before. Get in. We're going down to Velvet's office behind the garage. Is Ellen there? You'll see. Hold out your hand. Handcuffs. All the modern equipment, that kid. Self-service elevator to the private office, handcuffs. You got a gas chamber down there? Shut up. Hold your hand still. Maybe you're one of Velvet's favorite characters. You ain't mine. I'm not impressed with Velvet's hospitality, Rosie. I must have been locked up there hours. What time is it? 9. All right, no tricks now. Ellen.
Dick.
They found you. You all right?
Of course I am, Dick. But I've been worried sick about you. They told me if I didn't come with them.
Yeah, I know, honey, I know. It's one of Velvet's bright ideas.
But you're handcuffed. Dick, they hurt you.
Break it up, lovebirds. Nobody ain't been hurt yet. Sit down here, loudmouth. You there, sister? Well, this sort of looks like it, Ellen. Now you see how handy it is to have a garage outside your office. I wonder if they can spare the gas to take us for a ride. Button my lip, right, boy. I don't like that kind of talk.
Velvet had me locked up for a long time, and then he asked me to do the strangest thing that he told me...
Look, sister, this is Velvet's party. He'll do the talking.
I mean, maybe that's him now.
Sit quiet, both of you. I get paid for opening doors. It's okay, Chief. Hold it, Rosie. Don't move. Be a pleasure to shoot you. Step back now. Larry, no. They didn't kill you.
Larry, are we glad to see you?
For heaven's sake, boy, you all right? Sure, fine. Keep your hand away from that pocket, Rosie.
Just come in time, Larry. How'd you get away from them last night?
No questions now, Ellen. Look, Larry, I don't know what's up, but we got to move fast. Velvet's around somewhere. I got a feeling he was just about to move us out of here.
Sit tight, Dick. I'll take care of everything. This mug.
Larry, did you have to do that?
I've been itching to put him out cold ever since yesterday.
Well, it's done now, Larry. Take the key out of his pocket and get these cuffs off me.
Keep your shirt on, Dick. I want to take a look at that safe.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Larry, we don't have time for that.
I happen to know there's a fortune in cash in there this minute, right behind this picture.
Listen, pal, you're nuts. Now leave it on the wall.
Non-objective art, huh, Ellen? You might like to take a good look at it. You know, it is a whim of Velvet to have the combination work right into the design of that thing.
Are you serious, Larry?
Wait and see, baby. I've got that combination now. I'll have it open in a second.
Oh, you're kidding, Larry. Fooling around with that safe when it's a matter of life and death. Cut it out.
Not me, brother. Not after I went to the trouble of getting a photo of that painting to enlarge and study.
You got the combination from that picture yesterday? But I thought
Yeah, sure. You thought we were taking a picture of Velvet.
Well, no wonder Velvet was hunting us. If he knew you had that combination, Larry.
Wise up, chump. Velvet hasn't been hunting you. He saved your lives by keeping you hidden this afternoon. I've been hunting you.
No. Oh, Larry, no. Those shots that touched
You gave me a lot of trouble, Ellen. Don't edge up, Dick. You wouldn't want this gun to go off.
I'm not, Larry. I still don't believe it. You're sick. You're out of your mind. I heard you over the phone when Rosie attacked you.
Little death scene for your benefit, Dick. I knew you'd spill the story to the cops. And when I got rid of you, too, Velvet will be a sin to be blamed for your killing.
We're your friends, Larry. Why would you want to kill us?
You were the only ones who knew I had the picture. You'd have figured out that I cracked his safe once the story hit the papers.
I see. You still plan to kill us and let Rosie take the rap?
Uh-huh. That's right. Now, just stand where you are where I can see you while I'm opening the safe.
Let him, Dick. Let him open the safe.
Very kind of you, Ellen. Now, two to the left. I appreciate both of you helping me get this combination. One to the simple as can be. Just open the door and help myself like... Oh, my eyes!
It's the flash bulb I put in the safe, Dick. It's blinded him.
Don't make a move, either of you. I've still got this gun. This will wear off in a minute.
Look out, Dick. There's Velvet. He's going to shoot.
Oh.
Okay, Velvet, you got him. He dropped the gun.
It was getting awfully stuffy hiding in the closet. And I suppose it wasn't very sporting of me to shoot a man who was temporarily blinded.
Larry, it's all right. You just winged him in the shoulder.
My shooting's really improving. Now let's all be very calm. How do you feel, Mr. Nelson?
Not so good.
Well, we'll fix your shoulder. And as for the effect of the flash bulb...
Hey, now, wait just a minute. What is a flash bulb doing in that safe?
I put it there, Dick. The camera, too. Velvet made me do it, but he wouldn't tell me why.
My dear Ellen, wouldn't you have believed me if I'd told you your friend Larry was trying to kill you?
How in the world did you know Larry was after us?
I knew my boys weren't, and that Rosie hadn't killed him. If he'd staged a phony death, he had to be up to something. When the police revealed he'd taken a picture in here, it meant he had my combination.
Well, that was the neatest trick of the week. I've got to thank you for saving our lives, Velvet.
All I did was have a certain stool pigeon notify Larry that you were being held in my office, that I was out of town, and that the contents of the safe were worthwhile.
You aren't going to do anything to him, are you?
My dear Ellen, do you think I'm a gangster? Larry has a picture of me. I have one of him opening my safe. Why should anyone object to a little business-like discussion?
I think the police might object to attempted murder.
That you can't prove without me, Dick, so I suggest you forget it. If Larry is willing, he can go to work for me.
Work for you, nothing. From now on, Larry is going to work for the warden.